What kind of feeling? Like, how were they gonna?
Okay, so Isaiah Lee was charged, or Isaiah Riddle was charged in 20. That was charged in 2024. But this is not about Riddle. This is about Mustafa. But if you look around on the inmate that initially called us in, that doesn't make sense. Why is this inmate doesn't have a case? His case, the inmate that supposedly called this assault in to this family, his offense date was 9/23 of 2019. The arrest date was 9/23 of 19, and his
Yeah.
Hi, this is
Hey.
Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. Is this Omar?
Yes.
Hi. I disconnected it on purpose, but kind of on accident, but kind of on purpose because I wasn't liking where it was going, and I wanted everybody to be sensitive to the subject, and I didn't feel like it was going that way. And
Ma'am, I appreciate you.
yes,
You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't
mm-hmm.
like I don't mind talking about anything. You know, like all I'm asking anybody to do is just look at the evidence. Just look at what I'm
Yes,
like, you know, like
But
you know, since day one, anything that I'm talking about, I've got either an audio recording, a video, a document. You know, there's I would love for individuals to debate why is my brother in solitary confinement? Why is my brother in jail? Why is he being charged? What he's being charged with? And all we've
and
been
Thomas,
dealing
that
with.
is what we're trying to do. But there are certain individuals that jump on that don't want to read from the beginning of.
my friend Jackie is on the phone too.
Yes, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
He said hi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing okay. Doing okay. Doing all right. Hanging in there. You know, I'll tell you something. That guy that was in there.
Uh-huh.
He's talking about Isaiah Riddle like he doesn't exist. Isaiah Riddle is behind that wall. All you have to
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
all you have to do is call, and you can you know, it's really like, you know, it gets the conversation gets comical when someone sits there and say, oh, is Isaiah a real person? Well, you know, this jail has an actual system where you can verify Isaiah Riddle. You know, every inmate, there's a system where you can go in and put their name in, and then you can find which inmate is, if they're behind this wall or not. So it's
Right.
not you know, it's this is I don't know. I just find it funny when you can sit there and you think you can, like, that person can think, oh, is Isaiah really behind this wall? Yes, he's behind this wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, this
Yeah,
is we're not recreating the wheel here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with anybody making it sound like Mustafa is lying and that Mustafa's not telling the truth because the evidence is there. And I told anyone that's in the box that has not read the story from a year ago, that doesn't know anything from a year ago, should not be in the box.
You know,
Yes.
That means their mentality and their comments and what they think about Mustafa is going to be a very different view because they don't know the whole story.
you know,
And I have a problem with that.
You
I
know-
have a problem with that when they're insinuating that Mustafa might not be telling the truth.
Right.
yeah, even the other day,
So that's
like,
why really
you know,
said, let's get off the
the
live.
the other day with what's that one guy, K9 something. You know, it's interesting.
K9.
Yeah, K9. It's beautiful. You know, no one is stupid here, and the thing is, it's beautiful how, and I'm being very sarcastic, how you can go in the chat and say, oh yeah, Mustafa's innocent, and go through the conversation, and all of a sudden you can see why you're really here. You want to flip the narrative, you want to act like you're on Mustafa's side, and blah blah blah, and all of a sudden through the conversation you can hear what you really want to do, but you can't. You can't, because there is an evidence that's looking right at you. There's a dash camera. There's, you know, and by the way, this is not all the evidence. There's home videos
Right.
that have not been released. I have the home
Yeah.
videos. You know,
Tell him that we read the letters to the people on the live 3 times. Tell him I read the letters to everybody.
Yeah, Jackie read the
Everybody
letters.
that kept coming in, I kept reading the letters because I wanted them to hear it. I wanted them to hear. I read every single letter.
Yeah.
Now,
I read
I'll-
them to
I'll do you something better. That the civil rights attorney that went in from that organization. Now I'm not so, like, right now. Right now it's one of those things where we're sitting in front of a jail. My brother is in their hand. His life is in their hand. We have evidence that my brother is black and blue. I don't have that. I don't have the pictures. The civil rights attorney from that organization has the pictures. I
Okay.
saw those. I saw those pictures. Now,
Mhm.
I may not have the pictures, but I have the audio of the conversation between that civil rights attorney when she came out of that building, going into detail and describing my brother's injuries when she's going one picture after another picture after another picture. Now, I haven't released that audio. Okay, I haven't
Wow.
released that audio. Now let me take it a little bit further. Don't you think I can get another lawyer that would subpoena her and her pictures if they decide
Mm-hmm.
not to give us the pictures? Now,
Yeah.
I'll take it a little bit further. Every Prince William County that were called and looked the other way is going to be in trouble. Every
Mm-hmm.
correctional officer that looked the other way
Yes.
when my brother was black and blue is gonna get in trouble. This jail is in hot waters. I'm not sitting in front of a jail. I'm not enjoying this. This is not a picnic. Okay, I have a
Right.
beautiful house an hour in Stafford. You know, this is what's happening here. I know that I'm gonna get all these people held accountable by law, but I
Yeah.
don't want to get to a point where after I get my brother's body, my brother in a body bag out of this building. I want my brother
Yeah.
sent to the hospital. I don't care about their money. I don't care about getting them in trouble. I don't care about holding them accountable. I just want my brother to be in the hospital so when he shows up in court, he can show his exonerating evidence.
Yeah.
Now, there is,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, ma'am, I'll tell you, there is a lot of individuals, okay, like that guy that was talking about Isaiah Riddle, like
Yeah.
K9, okay,
Uh-huh.
that is so far gone from being a human being that they don't realize that a human being is behind that building that in a split
Mm-hmm.
of a second, lost his family, lost his life, and were thrown in silence behind that building, and everything is being falsified. Everything is being falsified. Okay,
Yep.
that my brother is lucky to have a family. If he didn't have a family, and this and but that's sad. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Sad about our justice system. Sad about our community. What if he didn't have a family?
Yep. Well, there was.
He'd be like the rest of the inmates that are in there with
Exactly.
nothing, with nobody.
Well,
Exactly. Exactly.
I seen the most beautiful display of godliness today, and it was through you, Omar.
And God bless you, man.
And I just want you to know that I'm a Christian, and I know you're a Muslim, but I want
Yes, ma'am.
you to know that what you did today has brought me closer to God. Um, the way you treated Joseph today, and you told him that he was your family, and that when you eat, he eats, and where you sleep, he can sleep, and you were going to take care of him, and to know that you are sitting there trying to exonerate your brother and make sure he's taken care of and just get him help, and for you to be caring about other people at a time like that is one of the most godly things I've ever seen. And I wanted you to know too, the reason I stopped that live is because it was out of respect too, and I told Jackie this, my heart is in the right place. I wanted to do that because I want to bring awareness to your brother, and I have no intentions of ever hurting or doing anything that wouldn't help your brother. I want to help your family and your brother.
And God,
And
God
so when
bless
it
you. Thank you for being
started,
here. God bless you.
well,
To be honest with you, just hearing your voice, just hearing everybody's voice, just hearing like that there is a conversation about my brother. It makes me like be at peace that my brother is gonna be okay. My brother is there is a community that my family. I'm not here by myself. My family. Look at that. If you go on on the YouTube right now, that's my mom. She's cleaning out. Like she's organizing. Like she's organizing like the stuff. This is my beautiful mother. Okay, my mom should be at home being taken care of, but it's okay. This is God wants us to. I don't know. God wants us to be here. God, there's. I don't know. I trust in the Lord's plan, and I know
yes,
there's a bigger reason. There's something bigger than me. There's something bigger than my brother Mustafa. There's something in the. I don't know what it is, but there's something that's being worked here. Okay. Is there a lot of people hurt? Yes, there's a lot. Is there a problem? Yes, there's a problem here. Okay. Is it a community problem? Of course, it's a community problem. There's so many people that are hurt. It's not just my brother. There are people that are hurt. When I looked at Joseph today, I saw Mustafa,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know,
Yeah.
ma'am. I don't know. I think God is watching, and God is working through this community because He loves this community,
Mm-hmm.
and He wants to
Yep.
make it a better community.
Your mother has also brought us to tears. I had to get off of your YouTube today because I couldn't take your mother crying and begging for her son. Mm-hmm. I had to turn it off. I mean, we have watched your mother yesterday how she wanted to sit next to the gentleman that was there, and she wanted to make sure that he was eating. Your mother has brought a lot of us together. Tara and I have become friends. I'm in New Jersey. She's in Arkansas.
Yes.
And we have been sitting here thinking of ways how we can help you and what we can do. And we support you and your mom and Mustafa all the way. Your sister was looking for me today. She sent me a message. Where are you? Come on, get on YouTube. She recognizes my name now.
Good. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
We really hope that we can meet you guys in person. Tara and I have talked about how we can, figure out a way, whether it's later, whether it's now, but, eventually we really would love to meet your family in person.
Yeah,
Ma'am, we look forward to it. We look forward to it, and I see, and I don't know what this is, but I see something happening here in this parking lot. I see that the community is gonna come out, and a real conversation is gonna happen, not just about my brother Mustafa, about what's happening behind this private jail. There's people making money, and they're on they're making money, and in the process people are getting hurt. Okay, why is an 18-year-old kid murdered behind that wall? Okay, when every detail that you look into what happened to this kid, it leads you to a murder. Okay, there's nothing normal about what happened to this 18-year-old kid. With and the most, take it further. If you don't have to take the inmate's words for it. There's a camera inside that jail. Now, if the community is not entitled to that camera, when all these conversations happen, there's a problem here. There's something that they're hiding. The body cams. They're not releasing the body cam. Now, I'll take it a little bit even further. Detective Anderson, that's investigating the death of this 18-year-old kid, after 15 days after the voices of these inmates were leaked on social media, Detective Anderson questions Mustafa, my brother, questioned Rodney Ward, and questioned a third inmate. I have his name in my notes. Okay, now the Detective Anderson's witness just gotten beaten up, black and blue from head to toe by the correctional officers. You want to tell me Detective Anderson is nowhere to be found? How is that not a red flag?
Right.
You're supposed to, your job as an investigator is to protect your witnesses. These witnesses risked everything. They came forward and they told you what happened. And you're nowhere to be found when this inmate, this witness is black and blue from head to toe. The least you can do is transfer him to a different cell, a different unit. But when you don't protect that witness, that means you're directly involved in the beating of the inmate, of that witness. The reason that he's black and blue is because of you. Because you failed to cover this up. Oh.
Well, listen, we're here. We are here till the end.
Yep.
If there is one thing, ma'am, if there is one thing that I wish that can come out, well, two things I wish would come out of all this is my brother is sent to the hospital, and two, I wish I can find Dorothy's family. Now I've never met her family. Um, Mustafa never met her family. I've never met her family. I met Dorothy. I met the kids. Okay, I got to know Dorothy. I got to know the kids. but I've never met her family because her family was not. They weren't around. They weren't part of her life. She when Mustafa met her, it was a 3 month relationship before the accident. Mustafa met Dorothy on Tinder. She was living out of her van. She had 5 kids, but her family wasn't around. So Mustafa never got to meet her family. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this accident happened. This accident happened, and a police officer gets involved where he falsifies statements. He's telling the family falsified statements, and the family walks away thinking that Mustafa really said that. Mustafa murdered this his girlfriend, the 5-year-old, and this is what they're walking away with.
That was awful.
And there is I got I have I have I have the ex-husband cell phone number. I have the brother cell phone number. I tried to reach out to her brother, but the brother doesn't want to talk. The brother does not want to talk. Now, he's never met Mustafa. He's never met me. Now, why doesn't the brother want to talk? Okay, I sent him. In the beginning. I sent him the dash camera. I sent him the some of the. I've sent him the audio recording. I sent him the police report that was falsified, but the brother just shut me out. He had his wife text me a long, stretched out letter, and when I read that letter, what I walk away from it is it doesn't matter whether your brother did it on purpose or not. I'll send you the letter. I'll send you the text. It's the most disturbing thing I've ever read. Now, if that was my sister, and I have someone that loves my sister, someone is in my sister's life, someone someone loves my sister, someone is in my sister's life, and someone this it's someone. Wouldn't I want to know what happened?
Exactly.
Especially if there is conversations about falsified police report, evidence being falsified. Like for his that was his wife. She sent me that letter. Why would his wife send me that cold letter? Shouldn't be a
Yeah.
conversation. There should be a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. There should be definitely a conversation.
So
Do you
I'll
know? Do you
text
know
you. I'll text
Dorothy's
you.
last name?
I'll snapshot. I'll snapshot the text. I'll text it to you.
Okay. Do you know Dorothy's last name?
Fontaine. I think it's spelled. I think that's how it's spelled. Fountaine. I think that's how it's spelled. But I can Google. At one point, I googled it. I pulled it up.
I hope, Omar, I hope that you're not upset with me that I did that.
What the and then no, ma'am. I know exactly where, ma'am. I know exactly what you're doing. Like, ma'am, I appreciate you. Like,
Okay. Well, I hope you. I
Yeah.
just. Me and Jackie were talking, and she's like, "Be very careful, because we don't want to upset y'all because." And my heart is in the right place. I have a huge heart, and I'm talking while you were talking, and it was getting a little concerning for me.
Yeah.
But I know, like, you're in a tough position, especially with him being there and stuff like that. And like, where did he take Joseph today? Like, did he take Joseph to the hotel?
Well, this is what happened. Joseph is released. I think he was released yesterday. He said that
Right.
he saw us yesterday. He didn't know what we were doing, but he saw us. And then
Mm-hmm.
today he was walking by and he heard, and then the conversation, a dialogue started, and then he understood why we're here. So he felt very comfortable, and then he sat and talked, and he just found home, if that makes any kind of sense.
No, it does.
Now he started talking about sensitive things inside this jail, and he started telling me what he saw. Now it's one thing when I talk to my brother and my brother told me what he's going through. It's one thing when the
Right.
inmates are telling me what they're going through. It's another
Mm-hmm.
thing when you have an inmate that just got released that was subjected to the same abuse that all these voices are coming from behind the wall. It's a different experience, okay?
Absolutely.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's on camera, it's on live in front of the jail, in the parking lot of a jail. Now, a public defender comes out, and she has a conversations with him, and he tells me she just told him that the jail is telling her to tell him that be careful about talking, be careful about saying anything. Arrest will follow. They're gonna be
Oh my
arrest, and
God.
you are on probation. You just got released. Don't be here. Don't talk to them. Okay, she's trying to scare him. Okay,
Yeah.
and next thing you know,
That's awful.
he tells me, he said, I'm not doing anything wrong. I feel very
Mm-hmm.
strong about telling everybody what I saw, what I experienced. 2 years are missing from my life, and I had
Yeah.
evidence the whole entire 2 years, and it's not right what's been done to me, and I want to talk, and I'm gonna talk, and no one is gonna tell me not to say anything. So he sat there
Yeah.
and he continued to talk to on the live and say his what he went through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not, I left for 2 hours. One of the mics, the mics wasn't working, so I went. Went to Walmart. I
Yes.
went to Best Buy. I went to the music store. I finally found a mic. I come back 2 hours later. I find an ankle bracelet on his feet.
Right.
Joseph, what happened, sir? He tells me they just put an ankle bracelet on my feet, so they GPS ankle bracelet. Okay, now I'm just putting one and two together. Did they put an ankle bracelet because
Well,
he's talking to intimidate this guy from saying what he saw to not talk? Next thing you know, this guy that got tackled takes him
yeah.
and disappears with him. I don't know where
Mm-hmm.
Joseph went. And next thing, this guy is back. So, we're dealing with a private jail. Someone is making money. They're not
Yeah.
happy that we're here. These are
Yeah.
sensitive issues. These are
Mm-hmm.
deep-rooted issues that are supposed to exist. These problems are not supposed to solve. They don't want to solve these problems.
Oh no.
How are they
I
gonna
want to make
make?
them go away.
They don't want these problems to go away. So I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. This is I feel I see the bigger picture that we're here because God wants us to be here.
You
And
know, God moves every hair on our head, right?
yes, ma'am, I believe that. Yes, ma'am, I do.
And so I was talking to my husband. My husband is a lot stronger faith than I am. We're Southern Baptists, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and like I said, I know you're Muslim, and I'm learning. And like,
Yeah.
oh wait, your sister Doha and your mom told me a word. Hang on,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Inshallah.
Doha is actually my girlfriend, but
Oh,
everybody
shut
calls
up.
her. Everybody calls her sister. I don't know where that came from.
God, I love her. Like I talk to her every day.
Yeah.
And but inshallah, that means with God, right?
Yes, yes, yes. In God's
Okay, so
willing, in God, like if God ordains it, if God wants it to happen. Yes, ma'am.
right, in God's will,
Yes, ma'am.
God's will. So they taught me that word. So I told my husband, I'm learning Arabic. Shut up, leave me alone.
Okay.
You know, this little Southern girl saying inshallah.
Okay. That's
But
beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah.
but I forgot what I was going about. But I talk to her almost every day.
organized the whole place. I swear to God, look so beautiful. It looks like a stage now. No, I've got Sarah. No, not Susan. Sarah, my mom. Sarah, say hello to my mom.
Gentlemen, if it's okay if you lay hands on him and I say a prayer real quick.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good idea.
Not a good time? Okay.
I think he's having a mental breakdown. You know what's funny about that is the police would not respond to this. This guy was murder everybody here. I'm just looking at the system. Yeah. The jail correctional officer would have a field day. Principal and county is not going to respond.
I bet that clears will cover that, right?
Of course. Let me think. Sir, my mom actually called Derek. She talked to Derek at the time, and Derek was going to sit down with my mom and show him the evidence that we have, and a conversation was going to happen. If something happened, I would get you. I don't know. In our undergraduate, we have a lot of psychology classes. Before, okay, so I did 2 years in our lab. We contracts in our lab. So before all that, me, my brothers, my sister, and my brother Muhammad, my sister Bonnie, my brother Muhammad, our undergrad in BCU. A lot of our classes were psychology and biology. And then we did 2 years of medicine, and we were going to do our rotation and finish our get our medical degree. So my sister was Yeah, like I think she's really good at de-escalating if they're making sense. Like what are we going to do? But I don't think this is a good idea. I'm very concerned. I'm watching it just unravel right now. You should, the account that says justice, falsely accused. There's no, it's not mine. It's a really good friend of mine out of California. Her name is Fatima. You'll always hear her name thrown around in the chat. Fatima. Yeah. No. This is someone that found out about my brother. She's older in California, and she became family over the whole entire journey that we've been going. Later, do this. I need this. You know what she said? She said the same thing you just said. She's like, how far is California from here? I'm done.
Hey, listen, like, I'm telling you, whenever we get all this taken care of, because we're going to get it all taken care of. We have a fuck you! For the love of Jesus.
He's screaming at it. He's screaming at it. You know what I mean? It's compounding on top of what we're going through. I don't know. It's
But
just,
listen.
yes, ma'am.
Listen. You are ordained by God. I truly believe that.
I believe that.
I'm gonna.
I believe that.
And like, when I was with the girl again, and we did it after the everyone just stands by. Everyone just stands by and fucking watches. And I know I'm so in love with this. And I know they saw me who's going back. They saw cares for his answer. No, listen. What I'm saying is that I respect your religion. So much tested my religion, and this has brought me back. MUSTAFA has brought me back, and you have. Seeing you just fall in godliness, it has brought me back. Take care of that situation right now. Because he's yelling, and your mom needs to. Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm listening to you. I'm watching. I'm
Okay.
listening. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to watch and watch for sure. But I don't
fuck about anybody. People don't fuck about anybody.
Lord Jesus, I'm going to speak this into life right now, that you take the demons out of that man's life. What is his name?
Dill.
Dell. Dell. Dear Lord,
Yes, ma'am.
reach down. Take the demons out of his life.
That's all I've been ever told this.
Just make him go to sleep.
You know, I really wanted to hear what you were saying because I think about what you were saying all the time. I'm like, why am I here? Like
I'm gonna tell you.
I learned to trust in God. I learned to trust in what God is. Like, there's a reason that I'm here.
Yeah, there is. And I thought about this. Listen, I didn't by happenstance just scroll across this TikTok or whatever and just decide to like not do my laundry for 7-8 days.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
my husband goes, could you at least make me some tea for tomorrow? I know you don't love Mustafa, and I'm praying for him too, but could you make me some sweet tea?
That's what Fatima said. That the girl I told you out of California, her husband says he's like enough, and then the next day he's like you're the best person in the world. We're doing this.
I know, he told me too. My husband told me, he said, I love the way you love people. Are you okay?
Yeah, they're okay. I'm watching, but they're okay.
Okay, so I'll talk to you now.
Yeah.
So, when? God knows every move we're going to make.
Yes, ma'am.
God knew that you were going to be there, Omar. And he knew that your brother was going to suffer. You were going to be there to be his voice.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know, like, cancer, and they're fake Christians, they're pastors, they're preachers, they're all these things. And they're like, how could that person get that when they're so godly? You know? But it's about the testimony. God is good in the valleys, just as good as he is in the mountaintops.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that when I seen this, when I scrolled upon this, like, there's no way that I could have just scrolled upon this, you know? And then I'm in your box all the time, and people ask me, like, can we get TV Gunner in the box?
Yeah.
Can we please get TV Gunner in the box? And I'm like, okay, I'll get in the box. And people ask me all the time, like, well, why haven't they shown the pictures? And why haven't they done this and that? And I'm like, look, there is stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't need to be aware of.
Yeah.
This family, I said, you know, y'all don't owe us anything.
Yeah.
All the people that do, you know, on TikTok and stuff like that constantly ask for questions and answers and all these things.
Yeah.
And I said, their lawyer is taking care. Well, I heard their lawyer was on vacation. I said, well, you heard wrong. I don't know if she's on vacation or not, but I said, you heard wrong. I said, the lawyer is, there's a process that has to happen. And I said, I know that we want things to happen right now. I said, but things happen in God's timing.
Yeah. There's a reason why this is happening. I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what this is, but it's happening.
Amar, you are the person that's supposed to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Like, I truly believe that you were ordained to do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be laying out there on the grass in front of a jail.
You know, I have a beautiful. You know, Sarah, I have a beautiful life. I have a really beautiful life. I have a beautiful company. I swear to God, I have a beautiful life. I have a beautiful company.
I believe you.
You know.
I believe you. Because Doha, and which I've called her Duha.
Yeah.
All these different things.
Yeah. Doha. Yeah.
Her and all these things, I said, "Oh Lord Jesus," I said, "Just please forgive me. My son an accident. I don't even know
I'll
what to
tell you
call
something
you." I said,
funny.
"My
I'll
sister."
I'll tell you something funny. You can ask her. It took me a whole entire week to learn how to say her name, and I'm originally from Iraq, because I've never heard that
Listen,
name before. I've heard of dua. Dua
yeah.
is prayer, but Doha is I've never heard that name. So I kept on calling her
Listen.
dua, and she would tell me she would tell me Doha.
Okay. Well, the way I remembered it,
Yeah.
because I was like, to her and all these things, I'm like, oh, hey, to her and all this stuff. She's like, it's actually Doha. I said, dough as in pizza, and then ha as in funny. So Doha. And I said, okay, I know you're Doha.
Mhm.
And she said, oh my gosh, buddy, you're so funny.
Yeah.
And I said, but you better marry that girl. Don't be her girlfriend or boyfriend.
Then I'll be honest
But,
with you. When it comes to relationships, it's not
uh-huh.
easy. Um,
And why
it's
is that, Amar? Before all this stuff happened.
before my brother,
Mm-hmm.
before everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Man, I was in Iraq for 2 years, and
Yeah.
the only reason that I was able to be able to continue doing what I was doing in Iraq is to
You disconnected.
yes, ma'am.
Hey,
Okay.
are you on
Yeah.
TikTok?
And I found I was really
Can I
good
put
at
this
it too. I was very good at it. Now I was it's y- it's a problem when you come back here, because then you're just living your life, and you're supposed to live a life, and you're supposed to have a life. And but I found peace in even doing that. I found a way to. I was waiting for my contract to get renewed in Iraq. It didn't get renewed in Iraq, and instead, I ran into this old man, and
Mark, it's
he
okay.
owned a mechanic shop. No, yeah, it's good. He owns a mechanic shop. The nicest person in the world. It's the sweetest man in the world. I would go help my brother with his small company. My brother Mustafa. He had the heat warmer business with the physical therapy equipment. It's a small company, physical equipment.
Yeah.
The heat warmers and the FDA equipment devices. I would go and help promote my brother's business. I would help my brother sell the product, and I like doing it, but I wasn't finding myself. I was doing my work
You're
overseas.
lost.
I'm lost, exactly. And then I used to, after I get off work with my brother, I would before I stop home, the shop would be on my way, and I would stop and I would talk to this old man, and I would ask him, how do you walk around with us? How are you smiling? And he tells me, I turn a wrench. I said, all right, good to go. So I started working for this man, and I started just doing it for free. I would just be there. And I he taught me how to be a mechanic. And at one point, I loved doing what I was doing. That I would stay up like until 5 o'clock in the morning, until like 8 o'clock in the morning. He would show up, open the shop, and I would still be working on this one vehicle, YouTubing this, YouTubing that. I'm not a mechanic, but I'm learning,
Right.
and I love doing it. Within a year, I was better than his 20-year-old, like that mechanic that he had in the shop that's been there for 20 years. I was running laps around that mechanic. Um, so, and I remember at one point I would I would replicate what we were doing when I was overseas. The shop had an empty room. I would clean that room, like, and I would just sleep on the floor. I would put my stuff next to me. It's just like and then, but that was a stage that I went through. Okay, I got over that
Right.
stage, and I taught myself a mechanic. And a year into it, I was at I was at AutoZone, and I was picking up a part. And I kid you not, I was in my pajamas. And
Hey, is your mom okay?
yeah, she's okay. The guy, I think he just got back in his car. So
Thank
the
God.
thing's good. My other brother just showed up. My family just showed up. Um, yeah, the other live is there. Yeah. So a year later, I learned everything to know about mechanic. I'm a good mechanic. Blah blah blah. I'm picking apart like it was like 7 o'clock at night, and I'm picking up a part, AutoZone. Now I've got a really good relationship with the manager, the AutoZone, everybody. I'm buying parts like from that store all the time. These people are my friends, like my second family because like I'm always there. So I'm picking up a part, and here comes three Marines that are running around like a chicken without a head, and all of a sudden, they've got a problem, and the manager at the time, she says he's a mechanic, he can take care of it for you. Next thing you know, I'm following them to a vehicle that's on base, and apparently they just bought this vehicle. They were changing their own spark plugs, and the kids just broke the spark plug in the middle of a cylinder. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna ruin that cylinder. You're gonna ruin that engine. It, a small problem is gonna turn into a $3, $4, $5,000 problem. Exactly, a huge problem, right? So I get the right tool. I extract it. I kid you not, within like 15 minutes, I take care of it. Those kids were so happy. They start calling their buddies. We were talking about my time in Iraq. They were telling me about what they do on base, and they were telling me that they have such a big problem on base that there is every time they get stuck, every time they can't seem to get anybody on base because of the gates on base, and you need like the appropriate IDs to get off and on base, and the companies that the roadside assistant companies, the mechanic companies, they don't have the appropriate IDs to get through the gate, so they never show up. Because if you don't have the appropriate ID, you gotta go to the ID center. You gotta and the ID center, it's a nightmare. And for any company, they don't want to sit there and wait for that process. They want to show up, make money, and get to go somewhere else and make money. So those Marines, they end up just getting stuck. If you have a flat tire on base, you're gonna get stuck for a good 3 to 4, 5, 6 hours, because a company's not gonna, even if you have roadside assistance, even if you have AAA, even if AAA will not show up. No one shows up because these insurance companies with roadside, they contract with private companies, and they don't have the IDs, so they're not gonna they're gonna tell you they're gonna show up, but 4 or 5 hours later they're gonna cancel on you. So you end up calling your buddy Marine, and you're half the time at 3 o'clock in the morning, or throughout the day. Your buddy Marine is not going to have the appropriate tools to do whatever they need on your vehicle for roadside assistance. So it becomes a nightmare. Now this problem compounds when you're on base in sensitive areas like the exercise areas, like those off grid. When they take Marines to exercise, it becomes there's like a schedule for those areas where it's an exercise area, and from this time to this time it's a shooting range. Okay, so if a vehicle gets, and the way it works, they ask Marines, junior Marines, to drive their vehicle into these areas, and half the time that vehicle, they had drove it from a different state to get it here, or it's a small vehicle and they barely got it. It's you're talking about junior. It's a piece of, exactly. And then you take it off grid, they get stuck, and when they get stuck,
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
When these kids try to get into the Marines, they have piece of crap vehicles and they're trying to get somewhere.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly. So there is a unique problem with Quantico Marine Base. I live in Stafford. The base is like 2 minutes from me, right? So the next day, I'm already a mechanic. I'm a good mechanic, and I see a problem that I can solve if I start a company. And I loved doing it because I'm taking care of these Marines. I found a way to serve, and I found peace, because I'm gonna be really honest with you. I was lost. I'm like, 1 minute I'm overseas, next thing you know I'm here. What am I doing here? Okay.
Listen.
And next thing you know,
look, I totally understand. A lot of people that do that
Yeah.
that go overseas and then come back. They are lost about what they're supposed to do. So I totally understand. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I start a company. I started it with one truck. I put a compressor. I put a generator. I put the tools that I needed. I was very specific about the kind of tools that I have, that I can pretty much put any vehicle back on the road with the tools that I have. And I already had an H3 Hummer. You know those the H3 Hummers. If you structure them the right way with the tire to height, it looks like a Humvee. Okay. Now this is perfect for Quantico Marine Base, and I put a light, the amber light on top of it. This was a unique company dedicated for the Marine Base. Now,
That's not everything.
yeah. So those kids that I fixed their engine, like the engine that their recommendation got escalated to someone on base, where that person, because the next day I had to go back, and his buddy wanted an alternator. So when I was trying to get back on base, the MP at the gate, he said, "Sir, you have to have the appropriate IDs. I can't just let you on base." I was like, "Sir, so your Marines are calling me here. I've got a job to finish. Is there a supervisor?" And talked to a supervisor. He said, and then I sat there for like a good hour just on the side of the road next to the gate. And then the MP comes up to me. He said, "My supervisor tells me you and your staff go to the ID center tomorrow. Everyone is gonna have an ID." Some kind of recommendation was there, okay? Where when I showed up, they gave me my IDs. Now I didn't have any staff. It was just me, okay, with one truck. They gave me one of those IDs that is 24/7 access, unlimited access, anywhere on base. I can show up whenever I'm called, and made my life easy. When I get a call from a Marine, I show up anywhere on base, anytime, and any area that I can put a vehicle back on the road. And
Right.
and this, I love doing it. I found peace doing it. I found a way to continue to serve by serving these Marines by doing it, and I love doing it. And the idea just grew. One truck became two trucks. I went on Facebook. I went on those websites where you find junk vehicles. Where I found another
Marketplace.
yeah,
Coparts and all the things.
yeah. I found another H3 Hummer that didn't have an engine. I would buy an engine. I would install the engine in it. If one didn't have a transmission, I would install a transmission in it. I would put that vehicle back. I bought it for like $3,000. I worked on it myself, and I upgraded that company. Next thing you know, one truck became two trucks, and then I brought my brother Muhammad. He served overseas with me. I brought him into the company, and two trucks became three trucks. I brought my brother Mustafa. Mustafa had his own company, but I got him a contractor, military contractor ID into my company, where he's not a mechanic, but if I need him to like jumpstart a vehicle, or whatever, like go do this, go do that, like something like simple stuff. I would, I had, I wanted my brothers around me, and I brought in my sister, my little sister Maha.
Well, and you can trust them.
I trusted them, exactly. I trusted them, and I wanted my family around me. I wanted to create a company where I have my brother, I have my sister there, okay, and then I brought
Can I
my
tell you
other
one
brother.
thing?
Yeah,
Can I tell you one thing real quick?
yes, ma'am.
I don't mean to interrupt you, because I know that is one thing that Doha does not like, is for people to interrupt Omar.
You hear me get quiet. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Right?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just gonna sit back and watch this,
Yeah,
the whole
the
thing.
girl
Yeah.
gets pissed in the box. She's like, you need to mute. And the box says,
Oh,
I
that's
let
funny.
Omar talk. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a Muslim thing, or she's like, because I thought she was your sister. But now that I know she's your girlfriend, she's like so protective. And I love that about her. But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Muslim thing or not.
I don't. It's not a
And,
Muslim
and,
thing.
and don't think that I'm being disrespectful, because I'm Southern and I don't mean to be like disrespectful at all, but I just say what I say. But like, y'all are like thick as thieves. You know what I mean? Like,
What is it?
stick together,
Yeah, yeah,
sticks together, and I love it about y'all.
yeah.
But the girl, seriously, marry her.
Uh, you know,
I know you're listening to your mama or something right now too, but
no. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's. I'm gonna be really honest with you. It's just there's a lot of things that I'm working on myself.
how
There's
long have you
there's
been with her? How long have you
um
been with her?
going on 5 months.
5 months?
Hmm.
But she's beautiful.
Doha is beautiful, yes, ma'am.
And she is like, hmm, she is sticking up for everything. But anyway, besides that,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want you to know, let go, and you need to marry her. But I don't know where I was going with that, but go ahead. Tell me about what you were telling me about.
Yeah. So
Because
one truck.
wasn't supposed to interrupt you.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There you go.
Your heart would be so mad.
That's funny. So one truck became two
You
trucks.
tell her that too, right?
Huh? Of course I'm gonna tell her that.
You need to tell her that too. Say, Kara said, I wasn't supposed to interrupt you, but she did.
That's funny. That's funny. So one truck became two trucks. It was a successful company. It was a concept that worked, and we were the only one that were doing it. And because it took a specific kind of dedication, it took a specific kind of passion to keep showing up on base and be patient enough to go through the process, because there's a process within a process, and like on base is complicated if you want to take care of Marines, and then the longer you do it you find that it's more complicated because you're running if are you military, ma'am?
No, I'm not, but we
Okay.
have a military base in Jacksonville,
Yeah. If
which is just
Yeah.
about 20 minutes from us.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm telling you, my mother and father-in-law were military,
Yeah.
and they went to commissary all the time and got
Yeah.
food and stuff. And when they went, and even if I wanted to go in, like they pump your trunk, they do all the things. Like it is a process
It's a process. Now
to go on there.
Now it becomes that process compounds. It becomes a bigger process if you're running a company on base, because the minute that yeah the minute see the thing is on base, you run into an entity called the MCCS. The MCCS
Yeah.
is a organization of retired generals that is.
I've heard of that.
Yes, ma'am. So you probably already heard that it's the mafia. What they're
Basically.
Yes, ma'am. The reason they're the gatekeepers for all companies. They bring in companies. They take a percentage from these companies, um,
Hey,
and
do you know people in that though?
do I know people in that organization?
Yeah.
Ma'am, I'll tell you my story with that organization, and it's I hated everything that the organization stands for, because I come to find out that they're not there for the Marines, they're not there for the
Okay.
base, they're just there to make money. But the status
I was
quo,
just asking because if you know, like if you were in like knew who they were and all these things, that maybe we could use that for Mustafa. But anyway, go ahead.
well, Mustafa, the my so fast forward into I okay, so one truck turned into two trucks turned into five trucks. This company developed a very strong relationship with military police, because military police were the kids that sit on the gate that see me in and out 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, taking care of the Marines. The recommendation were made to the watch commanders for the military police, and I got to be really good friends with the watch commanders. I was taking care of their junior Marines. I was taking care of their Marines, and they know my background. So it just a friendship. Like I was. They were very good friends of mine.
I think we've evolved.
Huh? Yeah,
which is
exactly.
a pretty simple goal.
Exactly. Um,
Mhm.
Now, this company upgraded to where we were stationed. Our trucks were stationed on base. I had four military Marines working in the company. Me and my brother Mohammed, we were training these Marines on how to do roadside assistance. And the whole entire program, the whole entire company became a program for if you're a Marine that's it on your day off. See, Marines are it's a unique mindset where on your day off, if you're not doing anything, you're gonna get in trouble. Where on your day off, these Marines sit in their barracks, they either get in trouble or get drunk. Where I found a program where instead of sitting in your barrack and getting in trouble, I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna train you, and I'm gonna have you, and you're gonna make money, and you're gonna serve your fellow Marines.
So,
This
and
co-
let me ask you a question
yes, ma'am.
real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you
Yes, ma'am.
again. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
You
you're
said
good.
yes.
You're good. Yeah.
Um, but since you did all this with what branch of military are you?
We're not with the branch of military. We're originally from Iraq. My dad, growing
And
up, yeah. So I
you
got
just stuck
thrown.
with that.
Yeah, I got thrown into doing what I was doing in Iraq.
Okay.
I grew up where my dad was working overseas with the U.S. military.
I heard
As
you were
far,
like big in dignitary, like
yes, ma'am.
in Iraq.
Yes, ma'am. So,
And you decided not to. You told me that story. I heard
yes,
that from you.
yes.
And he
So,
decided not to with Hussein because he didn't agree with him. And
yes,
that's beautiful.
yes, ma'am. So my dad and so my dad fled Iraq, left everything behind because he did not want to become part of Saddam's death machine. What that means is
What?
he didn't want to. Um,
It's almost like Hitler.
exactly. He refused to be complicit. So as a
Yeah.
result, he
This is beautiful.
yes, ma'am. So he left his family. He left his career. He was an engineer in Baghdad University. He had every opportunity thrown at him to become Saddam's people. Like
Yeah.
you're an engineer about to graduate from Baghdad University.
That's what
Saddam
you
offer
hear from.
yeah Saddam offers you everything that at your disposal. Um,
Yeah.
and my dad refused to go along with it. So you know, him coming from a
That's a strong man.
yes, a very strong man. I grew up in knowing who my dad is, and the
And
character. It's a
that's why
character.
you, yes.
So as far as back as I can remember, my dad worked for the United States government to bring democracy and remove that dictator out of the and everything that um, the United States stood for with going overseas and bringing democracy and changing and you know whether it happened or not, that's a different story. But this is what we believed in. This is what we were doing. This is what my dad was doing. This is what so as far as I can remember, my dad worked overseas. He was a military contractor in Iraq, and then after and General Petraeus. Well, that came after.
Hey,
So
hey,
in the
wait,
beginning,
wait, wait.
yeah.
Let
So
me interrupt again. I'm sorry.
no, no,
I'll
you're
always be pissed.
no,
But is your mom okay?
yeah,
I
yeah,
hear her.
yeah. No, she's like he was a national advisor of Iraq. You know, uh,
I'm sorry, but
yeah.
what time is it over there?
It
Because I'm in
is.
Arkansas
It
and it's
is.
late.
No, ma'am, I love talking to you. I love
I
telling
do too,
you.
but I want your mom to go to bed.
Oh no, my mom's my mom's staying up. She does not want to go to bed. She's wired right now.
Lord,
She's in front of the
Lord have
jail.
mercy.
She's in the parking lot. She's hearing me tell the story. Someone is listening. She fixed the front yard. She got rid of this kid. I don't know what she
Oh
told
my
me.
gosh. She wild.
Oh yeah. She had my sister on the line. What do you call it? The hotline for when crisis.
So is sister's Fatma, right?
No, my sister is Bonnie.
So,
Her
oh my God.
nickname is Bonnie. Her name is Abrar. That was the sister I was telling you about that studied abroad. That's the sister that I was telling you. We studied medicine together.
Yeah. I told the whole the other night,
Yeah.
I said, if you want to know how a Southern person says Fatima, I said, I'm trying to be politically correct. I said, but we say Fatima.
Fatima.
Oh, yeah, Fatima.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I have the funniest video for you. I'm gonna send it to you. This one guy says the same name in different accents, different parts of the world. He's like, if you're Egyptian, he's like, if you're Egyptian, that's how you say it. If you're Southern, that's how you say it. If you're Spanish, that's how you say it. I have to send you that video at one point.
I said, I mean no disrespect, and I hope you know that, Omar.
Yeah.
I mean no disrespect to the Muslim community or to the Arabic community or anything.
Yes,
But when I don't know stuff, I don't know stuff. And I'll say Fatima and Fatima and all that stuff. So I'm like, and your girlfriend, which I thought was your sister,
Yeah. Yeah.
she was cracking up.
That's
But
funny. Yeah.
anyway.
Exactly. I mean, let's be honest. If you don't know it, you don't know it. You know what I mean? And there's, like, I find
I
it
want to be educated.
exactly. Like I find it. I don't know. Like, like it's all about communicating. It's all about talking. It's all about it's all about getting to know what you don't know. Okay.
Listen, I will tell you this. Before I started looking at y'all on YouTube, and I know that this has nothing to do with what we were talking about with the military and all that stuff.
Yes,
But before I started looking at TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff and following y'all, and my heartstrings were pulled. But before I knew that, I knew nothing about the Muslim community. And it's not because of anything, but except I'm uneducated.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Actually,
know.
that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I want to know, and I want to know how you feel. And this is what I told my husband the other night. I said, I pray for them every day, and he prays for you too.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, Omar says God, and I said, I know he's Muslim. I said, and I'm Southern Baptist, and I know I say God, and I pray to God. I said, but it may be two different things. I said, but I know that collectively we're coming together.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I agree. Doesn't matter what you call it. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter. You can call it Allah. You can call it God. You can call it the Lord. You can call it Yahweh. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the same thing here. Okay.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's your personal relationship that you have with God, and that's all that matters. Okay.
Yeah. I agree, and I'm glad that you think that way too, because I was concerned, because I was like, I don't want to be politically incorrect. And I want you to know that my prayers go to my God.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether it's your God or not. And your mother has taught me so much. And
Yes,
so has Doha. By saying, Inshallah.
Yeah.
One word they have taught me.
Yeah.
And it means God's will.
Yeah. Yeah, everything
And
that's in front of me right now is God's will. If God wants it to happen, it's gonna happen. Okay, why do you think, like, my whole, like, the whole, like, is it painful? Yeah, of course it's painful.
Would you be up on the phone with me at like 3 o'clock in the morning if it wasn't God's will?
No.
Would you be sleeping on the grass in front of a jail?
No.
If it wasn't God's will?
No. I looked at that video that I uploaded earlier when I was talking to Joseph, and there is nothing normal about that video. There is nothing random. There is nothing random about that video. Nothing random.
Right.
Okay? This is supposed to happen. This is a unique situation. You have an inmate just came out. You have a situation. You have a dead inmate. You have a brother that's black and blue all from head to like this is you have but this is supposed to happen. But this is part of the healing process. Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And Omar,
Yes, ma'am.
Mustafa, I know he has suffered so much at the hands of other people, but God's using him, and I want you and your mother to know that.
Ma'am, I know
I
that.
talked to you.
I know that.
I talked to your mother the other day, and I know you probably don't know this, but like me and Doha were on, and which at the time I was calling her, but we were talking, and I actually said a prayer,
Yes, ma'am.
and I said a prayer last night. I don't know if you heard me, but that was me that said the prayer.
Yes, ma'am.
On the TikTok Live or whatever we were. But I just know that Mustafa he has suffered so much. And you know, like I said, some people get cancer. Some people get all these different diseases, and they're pastors, and they're great devoted Christians and Muslims, and you wonder why. But God uses their testimony.
Sarah, when I take a step back and I look at everything, that was a fatal accident. That was a big accident for someone to be helicoptered to the hospital in a coma. When I got that phone call,
Bless your heart.
I thought my brother died. I thought my brother was not gonna wake up from that coma, but he woke up from the coma. Okay,
Yeah.
now we're going through all of this, but if God wanted my brother to die, my brother died inside in that vehicle, but God brought him back to life. You think God is gonna bring someone back to life just to have these correctional officer kill him? Man, it just doesn't happen. Okay, God is molding my brother into something bigger in life. God wants him to see the torture of. He wants him to feel it. He wants him to see it. And when he comes out, God has a plan for him.
You'll be stronger for that.
Of course. Okay? There is nothing normal about what I'm doing. There is nothing normal about what I'm doing for my brother and the other inmates. Whatever I'm doing, my brother is going to come out and take over. He's going to protect.
The most beautiful thing, I don't mean to interrupt again.
لا تنسى اقول لك اذا اتذكر ان شاء الله اجيبها ما عندي شيء بس يجي إذا أخابط ما أدري أتذكر شغله ما أدري.
And everybody asked me to get me a box. And I'm like, they asked about the photos and all the different things about the lawyer. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
the family is dealing with that right now.
Yeah.
And they do have the photos. I said, there is a process. I know that we all want it to happen right now. And we want everybody to show the photos. And because, like, everybody's like, show the photos, show the photos. And I'm like, I know we all want everybody to show the photos. I said, but we need to trust the process and know that the family wants us to know what we need to know when we need to know it. We are not
Exactly.
like
Exactly. There is a process.
dude.
There are things that
Yeah.
happen behind the scene. It's like we're
Yeah.
negotiating
And
for my
here-
brother's body. You know what I mean? You know.
And here's the thing, Omar.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell anybody anything.
Exactly. No, that's true. Exactly.
We aren't deserving of that. You don't have to tell us. You don't have to tell the TikTok community. You don't have to tell the
حمودي
YouTube community.
الصورة
I
عليها
want you to
حاطة.
know that.
Yeah.
Is that your mama?
Yes. Yes.
Tell her to get her back to sleep.
No, she's not gonna go to
And so
sleep.
raw.
She doesn't want to go to sleep. She's up.
شو اسمها سارة؟
Sarah, yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Sarah.
You know Sarah.
Mama, wait. Mama,
ها
get
حبيبتي.
your back to sleep. Inshallah.
I can't. I can't. You know. Look, Sarah. Mustafa. I used to check on him before I go to sleep.
I know, Mama.
Yeah, I used to check on him. Is he okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Always.
I did the same with my babies.
Huh?
I did the same with my babies. My babies are Zane and Zoe. That's their names. And I check on them before they go to sleep as well.
Yeah.
Before I go to sleep.
Before I go to
I
sleep,
tell-
I make
I
sure.
understand.
I make sure Mustafa okay. Before I go to sleep, okay. When I make sure he's okay, I go to sleep. But now how come I go to sleep? And my son, baby, can. How come? How come my son is suffering? My son is suffering. Yeah. Only wall behind us, me and him. Only this wall. My son is suffering. I don't know what they did to him. I don't know what they did to him. He's suffering. I need the world to listen to me. I need everybody hear what I'm suffering for. I need everybody to see I can't sleep. This is my son. And he's innocent. He's innocent. He's innocent. Yeah, حبيبتي.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
I love you, Mama.
I love you too. God bless you.
I promise you everything's
I
gonna be okay.
live in Arkansas. I love you, Mama.
Love you too.
Swear to God, everything's gonna be okay. I promise you. I don't know. I have like I don't know what it is. I swear to God I
It's
have.
called a premonition.
I swear to God I know everything's gonna be okay. It's like
It's
it's
called a
like
premonition.
exactly. This is like directly from God Himself.
It's a premonition.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. It's a premonition. And pleasure.
You know when
Wait.
yes ma'am.
I know Duhal's will be pissed, but that cough don't sound good.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of cigarettes.
Me too. That's why I'm sitting here fixing to light another one.
There you go. What kind of cigarettes do you smoke?
Marlboro Light in a box.
Marlboro Light. I used to smoke.
Yeah, you smoke Reds.
I smoke Reds. I used to smoke Newports before I went to Iraq, and then we were
I
in a
love Newport.
yeah. I can't smoke it anymore. The place that was the place that I was in Iraq. We were only getting knockoff Marlboro Reds from Turkey, and that was the best thing there was. That was the only thing that's the only thing we can smoke. Other than the skinny cigarettes, I could not smoke the skinny cigarettes.
He said the skinny cigarettes are like Virginia Slim.
Yes. The whole country
When
smoked. Yeah.
When I was like 16 years old, I was going to say, I would go in and I would smoke Virginia Slims, menthol 120s.
Yeah. So what I think I smoked like it felt like it was a lifetime. When we were there, it felt like it was a lifetime. And all I smoked was Marlboro Red. That when I got back, all I want to smoke is Marlboro Red because it reminds me of my time when I was there. And and see, I got to love and get attached to my time when I was there because I made peace.
Camels.
Well, you said you're surprised I don't smoke Camels?
Yeah.
No, well, it's just because I smoked Marlboro Red there. I smoked Marlboro Red here.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I used to smoke Marlboro Reds is because you handed Joseph Marlboro Reds today.
Yeah. So yeah, I was telling you, I was telling you how I ended up doing what I was doing in Iraq.
Yeah.
So, my dad was army contractor when he first went into Iraq. Before it, and then so that was 2006. 2006, he ended up getting General Petraeus was there, and he ended up getting a position. He was the general director. He had one of those special passports as a general director. He was the national security advisor on the Iraqi side. So there was an Iraqi government sanctioned by the American government because if you understand how what trickled down after Saddam. Saddam was removed. Paul Kramer was the president of Iraq. If you know what happened, and then Paul Kramer selected Iraqi individuals to be the Iraqi government. Now, these individuals were individuals that were the same individuals that my dad had. Um, Even before Saddam, before we removed Saddam, there was a whole entire process that took place to remove Saddam. This doesn't just happen overnight. There was individuals that were working with the U.S. government. Blah 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 blah. There were things behind the scene that were taking place. My dad was a key figure in the scheme of the Iraqi situation.
Crazy.
And so there was and all these people that you see, like the Maliki, Al Maliki, Al Rubai, all these key figures that you saw come to light. These are with
Yeah.
this was a group of individuals that had that had fought to remove Saddam, like since, like, back in the
Forever.
80s, forever back in the
Yeah.
80s. So, like,
Forever ago.
my dad didn't just decide to just wake up and leave Iraq. They
No.
were doing a whole entire thing to remove Saddam.
It was
And
like an uprising.
exactly, it's a grassroots movement in Iraq, Iraqis,
Yeah.
that took a process over, since the 80s. So
Yeah.
all these people were individuals that with my dad, they were, it's just, and then the United States decided to actually make a decision where Saddam is gonna be removed.
Yeah.
Um, Now, and my dad originally went in as an army contractor, and then once he was and then he landed a position as the national security advisor of Iraq. And all, these positions are coordinated with the United States. I mean, like how do you think this government is functioning in Iraq? Now,
Absolutely.
the problem with that government is it doesn't have legitimacy in Iraq. Now, but there are key individuals that are grassroots from the country that will give it legitimacy, that the people accept. Okay, they're not just gonna
Right.
accept Joe Schmo off to be the prime
Yeah.
minister or the national security advisor. So,
But
so
it's been a long time coming.
exactly. So my dad had a history against Saddam, and because of that long history since the 80s, because he had a well-known family in Iraq, he's got a degree in engineer, he worked against Saddam, blah blah blah. He was chosen to
Was he
be.
not targeted?
Of course, he was targeted. Of course, he's a
Right.
target in Iraq. But
Wow.
he's part of the grassroots movement in Iraq. Now,
Yeah.
the this was 2006, 2007. I mean, I was just a kid. I was doing my undergrad, blah blah
The
blah.
baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I just, my dad's overseas. He comes back. He's there. Blah. My mom is worried about him. It's just you grow up in that environment. Your dad is working overseas. Okay.
Right.
Fast forward to I graduate 2 years of medicine, and I'm studying for my exams to do my rotation, and all of a
Where are
sudden,
you at?
I did my undergrad at VCU.
Okay.
Um,
I
and
can see why your mom is so worried. Yeah.
yes, so
Okay.
me, my brother Muhammad, my sister Abrar, and we're studying medicine together. We did our undergrad together. We're doing our 2 years of medicine together. We're about to study for the exam, and then something comes up. Something comes up. Now, I had a life. I'm finishing my medical school. I have a girlfriend. I'm just, like your average person that's just going through life. And
Yeah.
then, and then, and then I end up working in Iraq. Um, they give me a contractor ID, like an American contractor ID, and all of a sudden I have um, an ID from the National Security Advisory of Iraq. So I had two IDs operating in Iraq. One is it depends where you're at, you act accordingly. And I was working with my dad, and I was doing what I'm told. Go here, do this. Go here, do that. And I was really good at doing what I do, and I felt good about what I was doing. I was serving my country, um, and I believed in our mission in Iraq that we were bringing democracy for this country. This is where I'm originally from. I grew up in the shadow that Saddam is evil, and we're rebuilding that country. We're serving this country, and it's just, it was beautiful. Was it easy? No, it wasn't easy because I was thrown in a situation where I had to really either I can handle it or not. I'm not military, but all of a sudden I'm a contract in Iraq. Either you could handle it or you get sent back. And everything was really fast. Everything was, uh, and it's just you either you just adapt, and 1 year became 2 years. I went there and then I come back and then I went back. You know, it was two contracts. Um, and I don't know what to tell you. And it's not like I can just say I don't want to do it because you grow up in that environment. You grow up where your dad served this country, your dad's and then when an opportunity comes like that, you're just not gonna say like I don't want to do it. But so you
You hop on board.
exactly
I understand.
and but when that was over and I got back, I was like, now what? These are see, all these contracts are geopolitical and they're all tied up to everything that's and overnight everything changes. Different government, different blah blah blah, different administration, different politics. Our foreign policy changes, and it's just it, it just changes. So we didn't end up like that contract didn't get renewed, and it's just and that's why when I told you I found yeah yeah
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah. So I'm back here. I start a company for a Quantico Marine Base. That company grows into 5 trucks. Next thing you know, I have a really good relationship with watch commanders. I hire 4 military police officers. These are the same kids that sit at the gate that seen me in and out 2, 3, 4 taking care of their Marines, and they decided to work for my company. I was training these kids. I would have them turn around and then serve their fellow Marines. It was a beautiful program for Quantico Marine Base where I was taking care of the roadside assistant issue. I was training these kids, getting them out of trouble. Instead of sitting in the barracks doing nothing, no, they're making money, learning a skill, and serving their fellow Marines. Watch commanders loved what I was doing. Okay, they gave me my trucks were stationed at the gate, at the main gate. 2 of my trucks were stationed at the gate. They get dispatched out of the gate. The rest of my trucks get stationed in front of military police station inside the base, 24/7. I had the space. And I had a day shift. I had night shift. My Marines rotated. My brothers were around me. My sisters were one of my sisters were working with me, Maha, and I was happy. I found peace and continuing to find a way to continue to serve by taking care of the junior Marines. And they loved me on base because half the time I'm zeroing out balances. I mean, if you're a Marine and I show up and if I find out that you don't have the money to cover the repair, I'm gonna zero out your balance and I would make my money. The way I sustained that company is I would make money off base and I would fund my operation on base, if that made any kind of sense. And that was my way of serving. And
That makes absolute good sense.
um, now the MCCS did not like that. The entity I was telling you about, because there was Firestone on this. Firestone is you know what Firestone is.
Yes,
And they didn't like that my company grew from 1 truck to 5 trucks. And
well, that's for taking
they're
revenue from.
exactly. I mean, you have a junior Marine that gets stuck on an exercise area off the grid, deep, 45-minute deep into the base. That's a $900 tow. And Firestone is like, where's all these? How come the Marines are not calling us anymore? Because you got Quantico, and the name of my company was Quantico Roadside Assistant. It's a company dedicated for Quantico Roadside Assistant. If you look it up, it's called Quantico Roadside Assistant LLC. Um,
That's awesome.
so, um, But yeah, it's just, politics does play on base, and money does play
Oh
on
yeah.
base. And I have this conversation with our watch commanders all the time. They hated the MCCS. They're like, they're ruining everything that, they're so um yeah. And that's not just my company. Every company that operated on base hated their life when they're running into the MCCS.
Absolutely.
Um, and then fast forward to all this. I mean, the truck I have, you see in the background. This is one of my trucks. I've got 5 of these.
I haven't really seen it except for the back part of it, but so I mean,
Are
I don't know.
go
But
if you go on YouTube, I'll show it to you. I'm broadcasting on YouTube.
oh, I'm on YouTube right now on my iPad because I want to make sure you get the view.
You see
So
this?
hang on. Hang on, let me get over here. Oh shoot, it went off.
Do you see it?
Hang on, it died.
No,
My
you're,
husband was trying to get me to have a YouTube where I could see it, and I've got his phone and all the stuff. Hang on.
let me know when you're ready.
I'm trying. Hang on, Omar.
No,
Don't be impatient.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You know, you only tell like when I'm gonna make you laugh. Raha was selling me. She's like, I'm a mod, right? I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, how come I can't block anybody? I'm like, well, your mod has training this. You can view people. So how really crazy it up on it, right? Oh, that's funny.
She's probably losing her mind because of that, because the other night, like I told you, she was so pissed when people would not shut up. And like, that Taz person wouldn't shut up, and she's like, could you please mute? And I'm like, she's just gonna lose her mind. I'm like, she's gonna lose her mind on that woman. She loves you.
Oh,
And
100%. You notice I get quiet. I'm just gonna sit back and watch this whole thing just crash and burn.
Just crazy burn. The eyes gonna just like throw everybody out.
Yeah, that's
And
funny.
yeah, I see the track now. Yeah. Yeah, I see the track is beautiful.
Oh, let me make it to. Hang on. Let me.
That's disgusting because you want me to show you my minivan? I can't show you anyway.
That's,
But I had a white minivan.
yeah. In a little bit, yeah. Sarah, so this is the
Hey,
truck.
Mama, I see you.
There you go. Mom,
Right there.
there you go. Okay. So this is the truck. Okay. So I got really big tires, giant tires, right? I got the light bar on top. The light bar on top. See, this truck is beautiful because on base it's perfect. It's the perfect, unique truck for a roadside assistant on base. Now,
What's the light bar on top? Is it so blue light?
no. So for roadside assistant, it's amber light. It's white and yellow. Now with this company, what I started doing, so the whole concept got upgraded. We weren't just doing roadside assistance. We were doing so taxi services for the Marines on the weekend, where there was a huge problem with DUI, where we started. So all the tools. Let me show you the back of this truck. All right. You see all this?
Yeah, I see all of it. It's
All right.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Kind of jealous.
All right. So you got your jack, okay? You've got your inverter, okay? You've got your compressor. You've got your tools, okay? And this truck is unique. It's set up a little bit different than all of them, where I've got like a flatbed in it. Because when I go all the way out from Stafford, all the way out to Maryland, get called out on these service calls, these are long distance calls. Like it's like an hour and 30-minute drive, and then you end up staying in the area. So I can take a nap in my truck. But the rest of the trucks are you set up where the tools are only in the back and the rest of it is set up as a taxi service. And we were running a program on base where to lower the DUIs on base, we would coordinate the trucks with the watch commanders. And if a Marine is, they can call us, they can coordinate with us which bar you're at, which blah, blah, blah. We will pick you up. We will pick up your vehicle, bring it back to the barrack. Make sure, do not ruin your career just because you don't have a ride. It was a beautiful program. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the vehicle is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Like I said, I'm a little jealous because I have a town and country minivan.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But yeah, the fact that you wouldn't ruin their career and all that stuff and pick them up, that's amazing. Do you still do that? Or what do you...
With
like,
well,
do you
with everything that's
quit
going on.
doing that?
See, the thing is, with everything that's going on with my brother, I just took a break
Yeah,
from
but
everything.
like before that, like right before that, you were still doing that, and then
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
this happened, you
yeah,
quit?
yeah. This is like what I like. This is all I do.
Yeah, well, I mean, and rightfully so. And like Omar, that's what family does for each other,
Yeah.
you know?
Like I'm not gonna like. This is.
I told my sister we
Oh well.
talking Joa.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah, this is
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Oh, yeah. I did not know that she had a headache.
Wait, is that Mustafa's ex-girlfriend?
Yes. Christina.
Christina.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I didn't know she had a
Okay.
headache.
Well, I'm pretty sure she had a headache because she
Yeah.
kept holding her head all day long.
Oh yeah, I remember what you were doing. Yeah.
So, anyway, I just knew that she had a headache all day. But y'all are all sunburned.
The iPad is so hot. The iPad turns off if you when you see the YouTube turn off. Is because the iPad just heats up from the sun. It just shuts it off.
Which is crazy because y'all like up north.
Yeah.
And like I go outside with my flannel jacket on, I'm freezing here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And we're in the South, you know. But hey, whenever all this is over and stuff is out and we are like normal people,
Yeah.
y'all gotta come to this thing. It's called Suck
Okay.
Festival. It's TOADSUCK. Toad Suck. We have baby crawling, like races. We have toad races. We have all the things. It's so fun. It's a festival.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah. But y'all gotta come to that and you gotta meet my husband and all the things.
Ma'am, I'll look forward to it. I'll look forward
And
to it.
then I'm going to be Doha's maid of honor or something in the wedding when y'all get married. Have you been married before?
No, ma'am.
How old are you?
38.
Yeah, you got to get married to Doha.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm trying to make a match here or anything, but
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like things naturally happen. If that makes any kind of sense.
they do. I shouldn't pressure or anything. I'm sorry.
No, you're.
But she is a beautiful person, like inside and out. Like,
You know, I'll be honest with you. For her to stick around through all this, like, tells you everything you need to know about Doha. Like, she's beautiful inside and out. I had.
and she's a fighter.
Huh?
Like, she's a fighter. Like, she will like. I'm pardon my language, but she will bitch slap somebody for so fast.
That's funny.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's funny.
But yeah. And she's like, I can't even be there, and like I'm having to go out of town for work and everything. And she's like, we were talking about because Tina,
Yeah.
the whole issue.
Oh my
Um,
God, Tina. Oh my God.
oh dear God,
It's
when
like
that
I'm
happened,
already.
Amara,
Yeah.
I was like listening to you say that on YouTube that day, and I was like, oh, I don't think this is a good thing. I think something's going on. And then like Jaden popped up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're scamming them.
You know.
And so I like messaged Doha,
Yeah.
and I told her, and I sent her the because I took a screenshot
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
But the girl's name was Tiff something, but then she changed it to Tina something.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, that's her. And then we looked at her, me and Doha was looking at her profile, and she was like vampire or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, Doha, for the love of God, if I go missing, and I'm going to need you to look for me. And she said, I will totally look for you.
You know,
I was like,
to be honest, I'm gonna tell you, I was so happy that someone is telling me that they're gonna come here and hug my mom through this whole process. And
honey, I
Tina,
know.
and Tina's telling me I have a portion of the money, I have blah blah blah. I need to get a ticket. I was like, why not? Let me go on the live and make this happen. And then all of a sudden, Jaden comes out of nowhere, and then she tells me, cash out the money, Jaden. Jaden tells me, oh, it has to be 2 more hundred. I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. I was like, did I just get scammed? And then I go on the live. I'm like, brother, just keep the money. Like, I'm not worried about the 300. I'm not worried about. I've got my brother behind this wall, like black and blue, from head to toe, and being denied medical. And then all of a sudden, Jaden cash apps me the money back. I'm like, okay.
Because he got caught.
And then I'm like, okay.
Everybody knew.
And then Tina texts me, she's crying. I'm like, I'm not worried about you crying, ma'am. I'm worried about my mom crying right in front of me. Not like, you know what I mean? Like these are things that I'm just looking at the whole thing. I'm like, are you kidding me here? And and then I went on live. I'm like, and then Jaden tells me you need to give the money back. I'm like, how about this? The money is going back to Mustafa's legal fund. Everybody knows about Casey Stevens. Everybody knows about Casey Stevens stealing all my money. The first lawyer, okay. Everybody knows I don't have money anymore. Everybody knows that. Okay, it's not like news.
$50,000.
Okay, what do you think? I had a small company. My brother had a small company that sells those physical therapy equipment company, the heat warmers. We're not a rich family. Me and my brother used to go out. I would work on vehicles during the day, and then at 5, I would stop working on vehicles, and I would go help my brother promote his company and promote my company. And we would drive an hour away from Stafford all the way to Prince William County, all the way to Crystal City, those areas where there's a lot of people. Okay, and we would go and make deals with business owners where we can be on the property to promote our business and to sell the heat warmers. And I enjoyed every second of it because I was hanging out with my brother. And I'll be honest with you, okay, I have a lot of PTSD coming back from Iraq, and I was working through them by learning how to relive my life through watching Mustafa live his life. I would watch Mustafa take care of the homeless community. He would spend every penny in his pocket on feeding this guy, buying this guy a cigarette, making sure that this guy eats. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, bro, take care of yourself. You barely have money. He said, but I'm gonna make money. God is gonna make I'm gonna go and make money. This is a person that's hungry right in front of you, and he would teach me how to be a human being. And I used to look at him. I'm like, you're right. You are right. Okay. And I remember I would get off work. I would go to a Wawa gas station, text him, tell him where I'm at. I would buy I would buy like a foot long sandwich, cut it in half,
Yeah.
eat that sandwich with him, and then I would buy him 2 packets of cigarette, and I would buy him the Red Bull 346 or 245 345,
Yeah.
and I would give him the Red Bulls, and I can see the look on his face that his brother is taking care of him, like
Mhm.
it's just you know I. I look forward to that. I used to look forward to that. Okay. And
That is great.
yeah, we lived a simple life. And then we would go make money and come back home, and I wouldn't take any penny from my brother. Okay. I would just go and make sure that the heat warmers are sold, that um, everything is good. His company is promoted. My company is promoted. And then he would come back with a lot of money, and he would go to my mom and make sure my mom's bills are paid. Okay. And then
That's
Mustafa would
amazing.
like stock up the fridge, like buy every vegetable, every fruit, every juice, every like it's just like the whole fridge is
He's a
like stocked up.
nurturer.
Yeah, like he took, and then he would like, and then my brother would like, he would like clean the front yard, clean the backyard, clean, and would like, like my brother took care of my family. That's like I loved Mustafa, like
Is he older than you or younger than you?
younger than me, man, younger.
Younger than you?
Yeah.
Okay. How much younger?
I'm 38, he's 33.
Okay. Not too much younger. But his warmers that you're talking about,
Yeah.
like, would that help with arthritic stuff? Because I have rheumatoid arthritis,
Yes.
and my hands hurt really bad.
So that's
could
what
that
they.
help with that?
So that's the whole concept of a company. This is a FDA approved physical therapy equipment company.
Okay, well, let me tell you something
Yeah.
before you go any further.
Yeah.
I have a really good friend who is a nurse practitioner for a new company called Ortho Arkansas.
Okay.
And I have horrible trouble with my hands. And I'm going to see an orthopedic doctor on Friday about my hands and stuff. And so if you could give me some information, like on his company and different stuff, I can pitch that to the doctor and to my rheumatoid arthritis doctor.
Yeah. So so his company was a physical therapy equipment company, FDA approved. The same exact units that you would find inside the physical therapy office. He sells these units. The heat warmers are so they have different applications. One for therapy while you're using the equipment. One for before and after you exercise. They they're reusable heat warmers. Um, and my brother had a contract with. This was before my time in Iraq. He had a contract with Andrews Base, and his company he was selling this equipment to the army. You come back from Iraq, from Afghanistan, and instead of going to the actual physical therapy office, he's supplying you with the equipment. So, and then
Wow.
he had locations inside the mall where he was selling it to the. It's just like he loved doing what he like. It was a really nice company. He makes a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
I remember I would be working on a vehicle, and being a mechanic, I'm under a vehicle all day. Okay, my
Yeah.
brother would show up, and he would take out $500 and put some in my pocket, and then gives me 2 packets of cigarette. And I'm like, bro, you didn't have to do that. He's like, I got you, like, like, I got you, right? Like, I'm gonna take care of it, right? I'm like, and like for a brother to come out of nowhere and put $500 in your pocket, like,
Yeah.
and
That's amazing.
like on a regular basis, just like come up and like put money in your pocket, like you didn't have to do that, okay? He knows I got a company to run. Okay, he knows like running a company is not the easiest thing in the world, and
Right.
for him to go out of his way, buy me cigarette, put money in my pocket, um, like help me with my company, it was big. Like,
Yeah.
and he always found a way to find out what bothers me, and he fixes it. Okay. Now my Marines loved him. Okay, my
I'm
Marines
sure.
loved him because he took care of those kids. What he does,
Yes.
man, what he does. So I gave him operation manager in the company.
Mhm.
So when he shows up in the field, he's an operation manager. What that means, basically, Marines had to listen to him. Okay,
Right.
they
Mhm.
so I had so dealing with my Marines wasn't easy because you're dealing with junior military police Marines. Okay,
Right.
so those kind of Marines are not the easiest Marines to.
They're a little egotistical and
Yes,
like short man
yes,
syndrome type things.
yes. But I had the watch commander. I had the watch commander that constantly remind them to make sure they do a good job when they're in the field.
Mhm.
Um, my brother, they love my brother, so when I put him, supervise them out in the field, they make sure they do the good thing because my brother, they knew my brother looks out for them, like he would uh, make sure that I give them extra money when they when they do a good job. Um,
Mhm.
he would buy them cigarette. He would buy them a Red Bull. He just took care of them. You know what I mean? He just like show up out of nowhere with like snacks and like food and like he just had his own way of like taking care of them.
Yeah. Just
Um,
showing that he
like
appreciated them.
yeah, exactly. The way he got them to listen to him and do like what I like. For example, when I send up like because I can't be in every site,
Right.
and I would pair a I would pair I would never send someone by themselves. I would always have a
Mhm.
pair of people. Like I would pair up
Yeah.
my brother with a Marine. I would pair a Marine with a Marine. You know what I mean? I would never just so that way like if they need like it's an easier operation that way.
Yeah.
Um, you end up getting the job done. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I don't know. I
Omar.
want to go back to that time. This is what
Yeah,
I want to
and
go
you
back.
will. And honey, I know that you are longing for your brother, and I don't even know who he is. And I long for him.
Sarah, God bless you.
Well, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your skirt. That's a southern term, you know.
I know. I know.
But, and I know that we don't even know each other from Adam. But like me and Jackie, my friend from New Jersey, that we met through this whole ordeal.
Yeah.
And we're like best friends now. Like we call each other every day, and we call each other, and we sit on YouTube or TikTok or whatever you're on, and we watch it
And
constantly.
I wish you were here. I wish you were close. I would show you the home videos. Now, if you see the home videos, man,
Listen,
you would
I want you to know,
your heart will
Omar,
break. Sarah,
that I don't have to.
your heart will break
It,
for what they're
it
doing to my
already
brother.
breaks.
And
It
it
already.
bothers me and it hurts me that I can't show this community the home videos because I can't release them
But
yet.
here's the thing, Omar. You don't owe anybody anything. Nobody, okay, there's this person on TikTok tonight that got back on. Okay, I was on TikTok the other day, and I was in the box, and I was talking, and they were being very rude, and I was trying to diffuse the situation because I was not a mod, and no mods were on there, and they got on my live tonight and started acting rude, so I blocked them tonight.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have to know. We as people, like, I'm from Arkansas. I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I don't know who your brother is. You don't owe us anything. You don't
Yeah.
owe us the photos, because people keep saying, show the photos, show the photos, show the photos. That would help a lot if you showed the photos. And the other day when I was in the box,
Yeah.
somebody said, why would they show the photos, blah, blah, blah. And I said, there was a civil rights activist that has gone into the jail on behalf of the attorney and the family. They have taken pictures. They are handling it the way they have to handle it right now. We are not owed anything as TikTokers or YouTubers, and I know we support them. I said that there is stuff going on that we don't need to know about, that we can't know about, because of the way that things have to happen. I said there is a process, and I said I know that we want things to happen right now. I said, but we have to be patient and know that there is stuff behind the scenes that are working. I said, so we have to just be patient. Eventually, we will be shown those photos. Everything will come to light. I said, but you have to trust the process. And I wanted to tell you, I was talking to Jackie the other night.
Yeah.
I really want you to have somebody that you can bounce stuff off of before you make a decision on. Because I know you're very drained and you're very tired and you make decisions off of your heart.
Like what kind of decisions?
Well, like the one when Tina happened and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And
See, the thing is, when
and
yeah.
you know, I just want you, and even like somebody on TikTok today, or maybe YouTube, no, I think it was TikTok, shared somebody's address and their phone number and all this stuff. And I want you to have somebody to bounce stuff off of, because I don't want you to be held accountable if something were to happen. And I just want you to make sure that you're not making rash decisions, because you are so mentally drained.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The thing is,
And
am.
I'm not trying to be rude.
No,
Omar,
I know what you
I'm
mean, and
not.
it makes perfect sense. I mean, I am drained. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
when I look back at the whole thing with the Tina, I'm drained.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the
Yeah,
middle
you
of
were. And she took advantage of you
like
because of
you know.
that.
I mean, I look at it and you know, yeah, I'm drained. I'm really drained.
Yeah, because Doha was like, who the hell was that person? And I'm like, I think I know who it was, and I sent her a picture.
Yeah.
But she was so mad. But, you know, I think that you need maybe a spokesperson,
Yeah.
someone who is not connected to the family, like related or anything like that, but someone who can speak for you. And you can speak for yourself too. I'm not saying you can't speak for yourself,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, like, say if someone were to say something and they want you to do this, this, and this, and somebody says, whoop, 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 wait a minute. Hey, let's think about that for just a second. There might be a better way or a better avenue to approach that,
Yeah. No, you're right.
because you are so tired.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah.
And you're making great decisions. Don't get me wrong.
Sarah, I'll tell you, see, the home videos that I was telling you about,
Yes.
we gave those home videos to the lawyer, Casey Stevens, on day one. And we
Who is
told
your
him,
lawyer right now, though?
Huh?
Right? Who is your lawyer right now?
Blake, the guy that was on NBC4 a month ago,
Blake who?
Blake Weiner.
Blake Bonner?
Yeah, he's on NBC4. If you look at the video on my page, Free MUSTAFA ALJAZAIRI, is the video that's pinned
Yeah.
by NBC4. This lawyer is
Yeah.
honest. This lawyer went on NBC4. He went on the news. He's telling the community what's happening. Okay, Casey Stevens didn't do that. Casey Stevens
Wow.
sabotaged the case.
Took your money.
Casey Stevens took the money and suppressed the evidence. Okay, suppress the recording between the Mustafa and the investigator. Didn't say
Mm-hmm.
didn't say the police report is falsified. Suppress the home videos. We gave him those home videos. When the prosecutor says Mustafa is abusive to the kid, Casey Stevens didn't push back. All he had to do is play a couple of videos from those days on home of the home videos. He didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, when we fired him, when we went to the bar and he sent us financial statements, in the financial statement, it didn't show that he watched the home videos. Now, he's pretending that we never gave him the home videos. Okay, I have records of us giving him home videos, of him telling us that he was gonna play the home videos to the judge on the bond hearing in August. The accident happened in April. In August, there was a bond hearing. Now, Casey Stevens, if you look up his name, you're gonna find out he has a relationship with this investigator. Okay, that's all you have to do. You look up his name, type Casey Stevens in Google. You're gonna find out in 2016 that he had crashed a vehicle, had a DUI, and fled the scene. And he only got 90 days suspended for crashing a vehicle, a DUI, and fleeing the scene. 90 days suspended. He didn't even serve 1 day in jail. And the investigator that was on scene is investigator Robert Drum, the same investigator that falsifies my brother's statements today. Now, how random is that?
Yeah.
Now, Sarah,
Exactly.
when it's too random, it's not random at all. Okay? Now, I'll tell you how we got Casey Stevens. Me and my brother, when my brother was arrested on April 7th,
Mm-hmm.
the next day, we didn't know why my brother is arrested. My mom is crying. Okay? So we go into Prince William County, and then in our naive understanding of how this works, is we thought the closest office to the courthouse is the best lawyer that's gonna handle this. Okay?
Right.
We went into the office next to the courthouse, and we wanted to retain a lawyer. The lawyer tells us, I don't specialize in your brother's case, but I'm gonna call you tonight. I'm gonna have a lawyer call you, and he's gonna take the case. And then we go Casey Stevens. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that all these lawyers, they know each other. Okay, this investigator had already went to the news. He falsified the police report and then goes on the news and then gives out his narrative, and the media runs with it without checking anything. The media says investigators say Mustafa Aljazairi drove into oncoming traffic on purpose. 5-year-old Empress was not properly restrained. Now, this investigator is insinuating that Mustafa didn't buckle the baby and crashed the vehicle on purpose. Now, you watch the dash camera, you're going to see that Dorothy, his girlfriend, is the one that restrained the baby. Why is this investigator lying? He has a dash camera. Okay? He has a dash camera. Why is he lying? Okay? As a matter of fact, on the phone call between the investigator and Mustafa, he's telling him that he watched the dash camera. But he goes on NBC4 and lied to the community. Okay, so when we went into the lawyer office, the lawyers already knew who this investigator is. The lawyer already knew that this investigator had falsified the police. They sent us a lawyer. This lawyer happened to be in a relationship, a friend of this investigator that falsified. It was rigged from the beginning. He took our money, suppressed the evidence. Why? Okay, let me ask you this. Why is it after a year of Mustafa spending in solitary confinement that only the new lawyer is able to submit the home videos? They were never submitted into records. The home videos were just recently submitted a month ago in courts. You want to tell me that you want to charge someone with murder? You want to lock him up? You want to put him in solitary confinement? And the most important thing that's going to show you what's going on is not entered into the record. The judge doesn't know that the police report has been falsified. The judge doesn't know that that there is home videos. The judge doesn't know. What else does he not know? Okay, that there is no argument inside the vehicle. The dash camera shows there's no argument inside the vehicle. But this investigator says, Mustafa told me there's an argument in the vehicle. Mustafa stated I was arguing inside the vehicle. I was angry inside the vehicle. I know what happened. And then you listen to the audio. Mustafa never said that. This investigator just wrote whatever he wanted to create probable cause and issue out a warrant. Now, when you take a step back and you tell this to anybody, Mustafa's police report statements were falsified on the police report. Mustafa's vehicle was crushed and staged to make it look like it was a head-on collision. We have pictures of the vehicle at the scene after the accident, and we have pictures of the vehicle inside the police department. Sarah, that vehicle is crushed. It's different. They crushed and staged that vehicle. Okay? If I didn't have the pictures, if I didn't see what that vehicle looked like before, I would think this is a head-on collision. Look at the car. Okay? Now the question is, everybody that you tell this to, they would ask you, who is Mustafa Aljazairi for this investigator to do this to? Why are they doing this to him? I think that's a legit question.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, look at the fact. As the police report statements have been falsified? Yes. It's not me saying it. Listen to the recording. Look at the police report. And then we have a letter from Internal Affairs admitting that the police report is falsified. Okay? So, is it falsified? Yes, it's falsified. Is the vehicle crushed and staged? Yes, there is pictures. Is a dash camera hidden from the community? Yes, the community does not know there's a dash camera. The only reason you have the dash camera is because I stole the dash camera from the Commonwealth Attorney. The Commonwealth Attorney, after 5 months, releases the dash camera to Casey Stevens and tells him, don't release the dash camera. Don't give it out to the family. I go on Amazon, and we can see the dash camera, only view it in his office. I go to Amazon, I bought a pinhole camera, and I record the dash camera off his computer while I'm sitting in his office. And then I release it to social media. The question is, why did I have to do that? Why isn't the Commonwealth Attorney releasing the dash? If the Commonwealth Attorney does not have a fake narrative and is so confident about what she's saying, then release a dash camera. So, but when you tell the story to anybody, everybody's going to tell you, who is Mustafa Aljazairi for the police department to do a falsified police report, crush and stage in the vehicle, hide in the dash camera? Now, you'll have your answer when you look in the 72-page discovery. You'll find out that Dorothy and Empress, there is a helicopter there. There's a helicopter. Mustafa's helicoptered. Mustafa was in a coma. He was helicoptered to the hospital. Now, why is Dorothy in the police report? They said that Dorothy was stable. Empress, 5-year-old Empress, was stable, and the police department decide to ground transport them. They're in traffic. They're stable. Okay, it's okay to transport them. Now, 3 pages later, you find out that Dorothy and Empress were not stable, and instead they should have been helicoptered. Now, they made the wrong call. Okay. Now, if this was your daughter, would you not sue the city for negligence? Okay. Now, to avoid the lawsuit, Mustafa's police report had to be falsified. Mustafa's dash camera had to be hidden. Mustafa's vehicle had to be crushed and staged. Like, they had to do that. They had to do that. So the burden is like the family is not going to sit there and sue the city. The same people that own this.
Mustafa.
Exactly. I mean, you as a police officer, you go to if I'm the brother, I have a police officer. I just lost my sister in a vehicle accident, and the lead investigator, comes up to me and tells me Mustafa stated I was arguing with Dorothy inside the vehicle. I was angry at Dorothy inside the vehicle. I know what happened. Of course I'm going to get angry. This is a police officer. Am I going to trust Mustafa that I've never met before? Okay? Or the investigator? I'm going to trust the investigator. Okay? Now, and you hide the dash camera. Okay? Derek her brother didn't know there was a dash camera. He's on national television telling everybody that his sister was on the phone screaming for help, telling her friend that Mustafa was crashing the vehicle. Look it up, Sarah. Look it up. And then the dash camera comes out. Dorothy was never on the phone. That was a complete. He just fabricated.
He
Now
just
he
lied.
just lied. Now my question is, what motivated this brother to lie?
Yeah.
What did this investigator tell this family that it motivated her
Make
brother?
them.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm.
so yeah, there's a lot of things that makes you look at everything, but but God is gonna. You think my brother is sitting inside solitary confinement? He's grieving the loss of his family over a year in solitary. Okay, and you think
Yeah.
God is not gonna step in Himself? I promise
Yeah.
you, God is working.
Mm-hmm. He is. I mean, I totally believe that. And like you said, what motivation does that brother have? Especially when nobody cared about Dorothy whenever she was living on the streets with 6 kids, right? Did she have 6?
I think it was
5?
five kids. 5 kids.
5 kids?
Yeah,
Okay.
her family wasn't
So,
around. Yeah, she was living out
yeah,
of a
nobody
van.
gets, I mean, pardon my French, but nobody get a rat's ass whenever she was living on the streets with 5 kids. But all of a sudden, you want to go on national television and blame somebody else for something that you have no idea about? Because did you really even know where she was?
Exactly. You know, if you go on the
Come
Prince
on.
William County, if you go on the Prince William County official website, for the police department, and you look up Mustafa Al-Jazari, you'll find the police department writing a post about the accident, describing how the accident happened, and then they put our home address on there. This has never been done before. They
It says
never.
what?
They put our home address
Your
our
home address?
on Facebook on their
Good
official
God
police.
Almighty.
Exactly. This has never been done before.
I mean, that's against the law. That's doxing.
Huh?
That's against the law. That's
Of
doxing.
of course it's against the law. What they were insinuating, this is what they wanted to do. That
Mm-hmm.
that Mustafa is Middle Eastern. This girl is white. They put out a narrative that he did it on purpose. This investigator goes on the news, NBC4, Fox 5, and then
Well, because she was what?
his girlfriend's white. Dorothy is white. Mustafa is Middle Eastern. Now, when this investigator goes on the news and says Mustafa killed his girlfriend, he intentionally drove into oncoming traffic. 5-year-old Empress was not restrained. Okay, he's saying that this Middle Eastern man killed this white girl. This is what the
Mm.
investigator said. This is the narrative. Okay, and then he puts our home address. What is he insinuating? Does he want this community to drive up to our house and shoot up our house?
Absolutely.
Is
This
that
is
what they?
race.
Okay,
This is race
like
motivated.
like
And I'm
so.
sorry to say that because I know I'm white and everything like that. And I know that I don't know even how to approach this with you
Yes, ma'am.
because I know I'm white. I know I'm not Muslim. I know
Yes, ma'am.
all the things. But I want you to know that I'm ignorant when it comes to these things. And
Ma'am,
but
you're
I
you're
don't
you're
mean,
you're a beautiful human being, and
okay, I
yes,
hope
ma'am.
you know that I don't mean any harm when I say
I know,
anything that I say.
I know.
But it's just because of ignorance. But it is race motivated.
Of course, it's race motivated.
I mean, because you're Muslim, and I don't know what the demographic is up there in Virginia where you're
Mm.
at,
Yeah.
but and all I can say is that somebody on TikTok yesterday said you had a doppelganger, and you look like somebody that's in the movies. You look just like Antonio Banderas, and so you look like a Mexican guy. You don't look like you know you're from
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Iraq or
yeah. No,
anything like
I know
that.
exactly what you mean. No, I know exactly what you
But
mean. Yeah. No, I get
yeah,
that a
but
lot.
like,
No, yeah, that's true. I get that a lot.
you get that?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
but I truly believe this is race motivated, And it really bothers me because, like, I mean, to be what? And like I said, excuse everything I say because I don't mean harm by anything. My heart is pure and good.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm a white girl. I'm very privileged. But I can see through this like I can slice butter with a hot knife. It is
Yeah.
so race motivated.
You know, the thing is, see, when you read the 72-page discovery, you find out that the police department made the wrong call. Now,
Yeah.
now it just happened that they made the wrong call, and where Mustafa is Middle Eastern and the girl is white. This was the perfect cover up. They're gonna falsify his police report. They're gonna crush his vehicle. They're gonna hide the dash camera, and they underestimated this community. They thought this community is a racist community. This community is asleep. We're gonna pull a fast one on them. We're gonna cover our
Okay.
mistake, and no one is gonna ask twice about a Mustafa. They thought
Well,
wrong, man.
I was saying,
Yeah,
you said they underestimated the community. Yes. But let me just go further to say they underestimated your family.
that is 100% true. That is,
Your family
yeah,
is so strong, and I had said it on TikTok and everything like that. I said I've never seen a stronger family unit than I have with y'all to do what you've done, and I hate anything race related.
yeah,
You know, and here's another thing. It would be a little different for me, Amar, if, and it would, no, it wouldn't be any different, but it would look a little different if, like, Amar was from Iraq and the girl was white and she was very influential, like maybe the governor's daughter,
yeah.
you know, and stuff. But, and I know that's horrible to say, but like, what are they gaining from this?
I think I think they made a mistake, and if they hadn't done it this way, Dorothy's family would be suing the city right now. I think they're gaining what they're gaining out of this is they're avoiding a lawsuit.
But you know, Dorothy's family wouldn't even be suing them because they're not even around.
But no, even though her family was never around, I mean, right now her family. Okay, if you go on the original post, if you go on the original post on Prince William County Police Department, the grandma is thanking the police department for the swift justice for her.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Okay,
okay.
the
I
grandma
see.
thinks that the police department, this investigator
Did a
told the
good
grandma
thing.
that Mustafa did it on purpose. Okay, now
Right.
imagine if Mustafa's police report was not falsified. If I
Right.
mean, this girl does have a grandma, whether she's close, whether she's not close, whether she's in her life at one point, but an act
Right.
like but the minute that she's gonna find out about her daughter not be, her granddaughter not or daughter granddaughter this is the grandma um
I,
uh, um not being airlifted, she's gonna come for the city. The brother
yeah.
is gonna come for the city. So what I think what they're gaining out of this is they're avoiding a lawsuit.
hmm That's true. That is
So,
that is true. That is true. Amara, you tired, honey?
man, I'm just happy that I get to tell my brother's story. It's like
Well,
all this is
I
just like
know,
it's like you feel
but
like
I don't.
yes, ma'am.
I want you to talk to me, and I want you like, but I don't want you to feel like you have to keep telling me because I believe you.
I know you
Like
do.
you don't have to.
I know you. I
You
know
don't
you do.
have to justify Mustafa's story to me at
I know. I know.
all.
I know you do. I know.
Although I'm going to sit here and say you need to marry Doha.
That's you're funny. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm the biggest advocate.
That's right. That's right. Oh my God. That's why I told her. I was like, have you ever another device that you can like have it on the phone, like launch it? And then she's like, all right.
You're not asking too much. I really wish you watch with me again.
That's
And look
funny.
how cute I look on the video. And look
That's
how I look
funny.
on Antonio Banderas.
That's funny. That's funny.
So your brother Muhammad, right?
Yes.
Okay. He is there with you?
Yes. He's in the other vehicle.
Okay. Now, he doesn't get on the lot very much or anything. And people were asking, like, is this other brother there with him? I'm like, yes, he is. And I've asked, like, I've answered in the box for you.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. I said, he's just behind the scenes. I said, he didn't get on too much. I said, he's making phone calls.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I answer and I say, I'm not going to answer. I said, I'm going to tell you what I know.
Yeah.
By word of mouth from the family. I said that I'm not going to speak for the family.
Yeah.
I said, because I don't know what they want me to say or don't say.
Yeah.
And, but I did tell them that Muhammad was there and that he was just behind the scenes making phone calls.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He deals.
Where's his older brother? I said, well, I think that Omar is more of the spokesperson than Muhammad is. And I said, he's behind in phone calls.
You know those lawnmowers when you gotta like pull on the strings to get the engine running. That's my brother Muhammad. Once you get it running, it's gonna run. You put him in front. I swear to God, you put him in front of the camera, and he's got like this kid can talk. Like he can articulate himself. When he sat in front of Amy Ashworth in the jail board meeting in front of Sheriff Glenhill,
Were you like
the way
shocked?
the way he articulated exactly what my brother is going through, that's from God.
Yeah.
Because like he's never given speeches like this before. These people are so evil. Like,
Oh, God.
you know, like I don't know, like why do we have to be able to articulate ourselves in a fashion where I don't have to do this. I don't have to be. Imagine if I didn't speak the language. Are you telling me that you were gonna railroad my brother and do whatever you want? Like, but
And the
that's
fact that they disrespected his tools of religion.
that was
I don't know.
man.
I
That
don't know
was.
what those are.
You know what they?
So,
He comes forward. Him and two other inmates saw what happened to 18-year-old Juan Campos. Correctional officer Jessica Celez would go in with two other correctional officers. Their name is in my notes. Would kick his Quran, step on his prayer rug, on the day that he lost Dorothy and Empress. Like, do you see how like crazy that? Like April 5th is the accident happened April 5th. He's sitting there praying, and then they would pop his door open.
It's a year.
It's been a year. Yes, ma'am. It's been a year.
Mm.
And they would come in, rough him up, handcuff him, rough him up, go into his cell, handcuff him, rough him up, kick his Quran, step on his prayer rug. Like, for what? Okay? Like,
And that would be like if they are like Southern Baptist or something, like
Yeah.
I am.
yeah.
That would be like somebody going to my church and breaking a cross.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know.
And then two inmates come forward. There were so if you've been tracking what I've been doing since when my brother was beaten up and sexually assaulted on May 24th of last year, we were so fed up with everything that no one was listening. We didn't know. I just bought a megaphone and I stood in front of the court and I started telling my brother's story. Yes, ma'am. I started telling my brother's story, and then families that were also affected by this jail, by this system, start coming up. I remember specifically, I was standing there telling my brother's story. it was in my conversation on the megaphone went over an hour. And then when I was done, there was a lady that stood there the whole entire time. And after I got done, she would come up to me and would tell me they're doing the same thing to my son.
Mm.
And that was Miss Argy. And and it just hit a little bit too deep
Yeah.
because I felt alone. And this mom is telling me that the same thing is happening to her son. So, at that moment, you realize that you're not the only one affected. This is not an isolated incident. They're doing it to a lot of other people. So, and what happened? She gave her son my number. Her son called me. He told me his story, and then we ended up doing the same thing for him. The same thing we're doing for my brother. We were doing for him. Because we went to the Department of Justice. We went. They assigned an FBI agent. They were investigating my brother's beating and sexual assault. And then what I started doing. So when he talked to me, I record the conversation, and because that conversation is unique. It's unique because it tells you which correctional officer. It tells you when it happened. Now, when you know those two pieces of information, there's a camera on in the unit that all you have to do as an FBI agent, if she was doing her job, she would go to that cell, hold the camera, and verify. You don't have to believe the inmate. You can verify that information. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I supplied her with the to get Jason Castro, that's our son, his voice, and have someone do something about it. Is I supplied the FBI agent with that voice, and one voice. So my number started circulating inside the jail because the longer we stayed in front of the court and we were doing it every day, other families started joining in. Then Robert Reed's family came in. Robert Reed lost his life on the hand of a correctional officer inside the jail. Um, they the same way Juan Campos, it's the same exact situation, but this happened in 2021. So I got to talk to his sister, her brother, um, the aunt, and then I supplied these recordings to the FBI agent. My number in the process, and then another inmate came forward, another family came forward. So in the process, what happened? My cell phone number started circulating inside the jail between inmates, where if you get beaten up, you would call, and I would make sure that your voice gets to the Department of Justice and the FBI agent, the same one that's investigating, huh?
Oh, speaking of that,
Yeah.
tonight on my live, Black Widow and Say What, they're the same person.
Yeah.
And she said, you can't do that, that's illegal, blah, blah, blah. I
No.
blocked both of those
The,
because I'm like, that's not illegal if they call you.
well, no. Well, Virginia is a one-party state legally.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, like
Mhm.
legally, you can.
They don't have to know you're recording them.
Exactly. They don't have to know, and they don't have to know that you're recording them. Um,
Mhm. In
and
Arkansas.
yeah. So it's and then out of all this, my cell phone starts circulating. Now inmates start coming forward because a unique situation was happening, and specifically Depot. I was only getting calls from Depot, solitary confinement. Now in solitary confinement, um,
Which is really odd to me because that's a county jail.
it's a county jail. Exactly. You're innocent until proven guilty. It's a county jail, right? So there in solitary confinement, I would get inmates to call me from solitary confinement. Now in solitary confinement, there's a unique situation that's been going on for a long time, where correctional officers would get bored for whatever reason. They would start taunting inmates. Situation would escalate from where correctional officers are beating up those inmates for whatever reason, right? They would beat them up, they would strip them naked, they would sexually assault them, deny them medical, and then when the inmate would complain or write their grievance, they would Um, they would write their grievance and it get escalated to Major Herlock, a very high position. Major Herlock, the guy that you saw on my page was laughing while I was telling him about Mustafa being black and blue.
Yeah.
This is
Mhm.
Major Herlock. He's the
Yeah.
acting superintendent. He's the one that sent the letter of condolence to 18-year-old Juan Campos. Now, I don't know why he's laughing when I'm telling him my brother is black and blue inside their jail. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm watching him
Right.
laugh, right?
Yeah.
So in solitary confinement, inmates get abused, get beaten up, sexually assaulted, beaten up, denied medical. Now they have an internal process that they file internal grievance. The problem with that is when it gets escalated to Major Herlock, because it always does, you write it to Major Herlock. Major Herlock signs off that you're okay, that you're okay. You're the reason. You're the reason why you got assaulted. Like you assaulted the officer. That's what he writes. He tells you nothing happened, okay? Or he takes it further and he says you're the one that assaulted the officer. They would hit you with a charge. Now the inmate would write to Major Harlock. He would tell him there's a camera in the hallway that saw the whole interaction. Okay? Can you please review the camera? Because I didn't do anything and this correctional officer is the one that beat me up. Now, um, when these inmates are not heard, when these inmates are being punished, they would throw them in solitary confinement for 9 months. Okay, because they would not accept a charge. They wouldn't admit. They wouldn't say that they're the one that they want them to say that they hit the officer. Okay,
Mhm.
and then when they don't, they throw them in solitary confinement. They throw them in um yeah, solitary confinement.
Mhm.
Now now when you abuse someone that much and and even when they complain you punish them even more, you create a unique situation. And then so when you hear about families protesting for you on the outside and then a number is circulating from them, you're gonna call that number.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
and
You know.
because what else can they retaliate against you with? They've already beaten you up, they already sexually assaulted you, they've already denied you medical, they've already, like, you know, where are they going to lose? They have nothing to lose.
Exactly.
So that's how, it's one of the most impossible things for to have an inmate come forward, but that's why these inmates were coming forward, because they have no other hope.
Yeah. There's nowhere else to turn.
Yeah, so but the
They
sad
just
part is,
are defeated.
exactly, the sad part is when I took these voices to Special Agent Lindsay Coulter, that was
Mhm.
assigned by the FBI to investigate my brother's beating sexual assault on May 24th of last year. She threatened me not to supply her with evidence. One inmate became two inmate, two inmate became six inmates. My sixth inmate into it, she threatened me not to supply her, and she gave me an ultimatum. She tells me, if you supply me with evidence against this jail, I have to document it, I have to go through it, and I have to escalate to my chain of command. I'm like, okay, good. She's like, that's gonna slow me down from investigating your brother beating up and sexual assault. Now that doesn't make sense.
Gosh.
That doesn't make sense because if you're investigating systematic abuse, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think if the same names are coming up in other situations where they're getting beaten up and sexually abused, wouldn't you think that information would be relevant to you investigating the correctional officer that beat Mustafa and sexually assaulted him?
Absolutely.
Okay, so for her to shoot this down,
Yeah.
she's protecting the jail.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, at that point, I decided to publicize it to the community. Now, the community is a very powerful tool because at that point, the community is listening to what's happening behind these walls and they're going to put a pressure on the FBI agent, on her supervisor, on the jail, and it's going to on the media, and it's going to put enough pressure because they're listening. Then you're gonna have the FBI do their job. You're gonna have the police department do its job. The jail do its job. And that's why I start publicizing all the information on social media.
Hmm.
I have 9 voices, 9 inmates that came forward.
Yeah.
10, including my brother. 6
Hmm.
inmates died inside this jail. So,
Yeah. It's just it's the most disgusting display of corruption, and I feel like were you people not popular in high school, and you just want to, you got short man syndrome, and you just want to
that's
pull
exactly,
one over on people?
you know, sir, that's exactly what it is, to be honest with you. Uh, I think, I think these
I
people
think that's
go
what
into,
correction officers are.
huh?
I think that's what correction officers are. People with a problem with ego, and they know they can get away with crap. But here's the problem that we run into
Yeah.
a lot of times, is that with this instance, not a lot of times, but with this instance, we're dealing with a different beast because it's a privately owned
Yeah.
jail. But the problem that I have is, and I'm fixing to talk to one of my friends. He's a judge.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask him, and I'm actually, my daughter was an intern for the governor of Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee, and I'm really good friends with Leslie Rutledge, which is the lieutenant governor. And I talked to Doha the other day, and I've got a call in to talk to all of them, actually.
Yeah.
Because I want to get some information on how to approach this whole situation.
Yeah.
I know they can't do anything, but I want to pick their brain and if this was happening here, what would we do? And how would we approach that? And can you help me?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, that's exactly. Yeah.
It's just it's the most horrible display of corruption, and like you said, there is no reason that prosecuting attorney, DA, whatever she is,
Yeah.
should be on the board of trustees of a private jail.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense. How are we? How are you? Like,
Conflict of interest.
exactly. How are we gonna protect inmates from being abused inside the jail if you're the one that's your job to
She's
prosecute them?
making money for the state.
Yeah.
She's making money for the state that way.
Yeah.
Because she is on the board of trustees of this private jail, she's making more money for the state.
You know,
That
as
is,
yeah.
that's what it is.
You
Go
know,
ahead, what?
no, you know, as a Commonwealth attorney,
Mhm.
like, if I was the Commonwealth attorney, now the Commonwealth attorney, she brags about prosecutions and how many prosecutions she has on her belt. Okay, like she brags about
Right.
that. It's something that, look at what I did. I did this for the community. I prosecute. So for her to be, if I was a Commonwealth attorney, and I'm dying to have a prosecution. Okay, now she really wants a prosecution, right? Now, if I was the prosecutor, a Commonwealth attorney, and then I hear about inmates getting abused inside the jail. Now, what? Okay, so these inmates are getting beaten up, stripped naked, denied medical, and they're being sexually abused. Now, if I was the Commonwealth attorney, these individuals are begging for a plea deal to get out of there. Now, if I was a Commonwealth attorney and I hear about abuse, I'm gonna look the other way, because I'm creating and cultivating an environment that these individuals are so abused, where they're gonna take whatever I'm gonna throw at them as a plea deal. Okay?
To get out of there.
To get out of there. Or they're so badly out of it that, I mean, a year of solitary, beating up, sexually assault, you're so out of it that you're not gonna have the energy, the strength to be able to testify about what they've done to you. Okay?
Absolutely.
It's gonna be an easy prosecution. And it's so sad. It's so sad that this is happening. Okay?
Yeah.
So for her to
Well-
be, Yeah, it's just it is a conflict of interest.
It is. It's a huge. And I looked at. Um, I pulled up on Google today, and
Yeah,
there was more than just that one person. There's a conflict of interest. The sheriff is on the board.
exactly,
I'm
exactly,
sorry, what?
exactly. The sheriff, the correctional officers get their authority from the sheriff. They don't have real badges. They get their authority. They get sworn in by the sheriff. Now,
Hmm.
for like, how are you gonna hold yourself accountable? Like,
Yeah,
like you're policing yourself. You're gonna fire yourself. You
yeah.
you
There's
be and
no.
like it doesn't make sense. And the superintendent is the jail board member.
The superintendent of the prison,
The
of the jail.
yes, Peter Melinas.
Good Lord.
The chief of police is the super is a jail board member.
Yeah, I didn't look. I didn't remember all that, but I knew that I seen the sheriff and the prosecuting attorney was, and I was like,
What if I
that's as
tell
far as
you,
I got.
Sarah? What if I tell you I have a recording of okay? So the jail board meetings, they hold every 2 months. Okay, normally every two
Now
months.
there was a wait. There was a board meeting the other night.
When?
Mm,
No way.
maybe last night,
No way.
or
Are you being serious?
either last night or the night before.
Man, I would be so upset if we missed the jail board meeting. I've been waiting for the jail board meetings like this whole time. I don't think so. There's no way. There's no way.
Okay, maybe there wasn't, but
Yeah,
I thought
we'll check.
there was. Yeah,
Yeah,
check and see because I feel like there's a board. I feel like someone said there was a board meeting. Now listen, there's so much crap that's said on TikTok and YouTube. You know, you never know what to believe. But and I'm all the way in Arkansas, so who knows if I know. But
Yeah,
do check, please check. Um, but if there's a board meeting, y'all need to go to it. Definitely.
of course.
And and I just want you to know, like, if you need a spokesperson, somebody like that, I will do that for you.
Man, I look forward to you having you here, talking about Mustafa
Hmm.
and being Mustafa's voice.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
oh, I was gonna tell you. I was gonna tell you.
well,
I have a recording. So the jail
yeah.
board meetings, there's you go in. Every person has 3 minutes. You say what you want to say, and after you're done, after the meeting is done, they hold a closed session to discuss what was talked about, like what we brought up to them. Now,
Right.
when I go to these jail board meetings, I know I'm doing a constitutionally protected activity. My First Amendment is protected. These are jail board meetings that are public. They can't just arrest me. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
just to be safe, I always have my camera and I have a cell
Mm.
phone in my pocket that's recording.
You're so smart.
You know, you have to when you're dealing with people that are this corrupt. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, now I got done telling what I wanted to say in 3 minutes, and then I sat down, but my cell phone in my pocket fell in the room. Now, so when we were done and we exited the room and they held their closed session, I have a recording of what they talk about. Now, in this
Omar,
in
you're
this
kidding.
I swear to God, in this recording, after we just got done telling them Mustafa was sexually abused, sexually assaulted, Mustafa was beaten up by correctional officers, denied medical, we got done telling them about the other 9 inmates. We got done. You know, you saw the jail board meeting. Now, in their
Right.
closed session, there's a recording where the Commonwealth Attorney Amy Ashworth, Sheriff Glenn Hill, Chief of Police Peter Newsham, no, not Chief of Police, Superintendent Peter Melias. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so the Commonwealth, the Sheriff, and the Superintendent. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth goes up to the sheriff. She's like, "Who are these people? Like, who are these people?" The sheriff tells her. He gets frustrated. He tells her, you know their case. You know who they are. Okay. The superintendent says, he says, I don't care if they're right. I'm just tired of them. He says, I don't care if they're right. I'm just tired of them. And then the sheriff tells him, you know that's what they say. And then the superintendent picks it up. He's like, yeah, this is what they say. Now, this is a recording. This is their attitude about what they just heard. Okay? We gave them the recording of the inmates. We told them about the inmates. We talked about my brother getting sexually abused, getting beaten up, and this is their attitude. Now,
That's unbelievable.
now, fast. Like if I didn't have this recording, you would. Like it's unbelievable.
Right.
Now you wake up to you fast forward. This is back in December, by the way. You wake now and then you fast forward. You wake up to a reality where an 18-year-old kid is murdered inside this jail. The inmate that are coming forward. My brother is black and blue from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
So now, an 18-year-old kid being murdered, and a witness that's black and blue. You don't think there is blood on the hand of Commonwealth Amy Ashworth? If
Yeah.
she had done her job back then, if they didn't have this disgusting attitude, the reckless attitude, this 18-year-old kid would have still been alive.
Exactly. And weren't his parents going to bail him out the very next day?
Yes, they were just collecting the money. Okay. But,
That is that's awful.
yeah.
Mm. Unbelievable.
So there's blood on her hands. There's this community. This community has to be demanding the resignation of Amy Ashworth. The jail board members, they all have to resign. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna take the community to put pressure on everybody.
The jail board will then have to resign because that jail's going to get shut down.
Of course.
There's not going to be a board.
I promise you, this jail is gonna get shut down. There is no way you have this much problems, and the jail just stays open. It just doesn't happen.
And like Christina said, there's so many other things that building could be used for.
I love
Like,
my favorite part is when she's teaching the correctional officer on how to make money. She's like, "There's other ways you can make money. I have a program. What I already paid for, and it's like you go online, you sign up for a course that teaches you better than stripping people naked."
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
She was spot on. But yeah, they're not going to need to resign from the board. They're going to need to just find another board to be on, I guess, because or they're going to be in jail because I don't know. There's not going to be a jail in there anymore. Well, here's the thing that bothers me too, Omar.
Yeah.
Is that I look at our county jail here in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And like, tell me what Juan was in there for. Like
Okay, so Juan was arrested for possession. The police officer said they found a blue pill inside his vehicle. Now, this is allegedly.
One blue pill?
Huh? Yeah, one blue pill. One blue pill. One blue pill. Okay? Now,
Yeah.
this is allegedly, this is what they're charging him with. He's waiting for his day in court. And he's waiting for his day in court, right? So, now,
Hello.
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, the phone died. I think it's the phone died. I have it plugged in, but I don't know. We'll see if it charges. Hold the charge. Okay, so yeah, so he got arrested for possession, one blue pill. Allegedly, he's waiting for his day in court. Now the mom tells me. Now the mom tells me that the police department refused to release the body cam. Okay.
What?
Now this 18-year-old kid never took his mugshot. Why not a mugshot? Okay. They took this kid to huh?
That's the first thing you do when you go in.
Exactly. Now they took this kid into solitary confinement. They covered his window and they put him in deep pod. Now the question is, what's an 18-year-old kid that's never gotten in trouble before, clean criminal background, doing in solitary confinement with a covered window when you're just charged with possession? That's not adding up. Okay. You fast forward to 8 days later. 8 days later, the jail says we found him unresponsive on Wednesday by a court transport officer that was trying to take him to courts. He had courts. Now, the jail says there is no foul play, and it's either natural causes or drug related. Okay?
Is this from the coroner?
No, this is from the jail is saying before the autopsy report even comes out.
Okay.
And the media runs with it. That's what the media. If you look up Juan Campos, that's what they're saying on the news. Okay, so unresponsive on Thursday, March 28th, by a court transport. They were supposed to take him to the judge to have his court day in court, right? I don't know. He had the court date, right? So 8 days later. Now, the phone was shut off on the 28th. They shut off the phone. Inmates can't call to their family. The jail doesn't want the story to get out. Now, isn't that foul play?
Yeah.
Before the police department gets there, they shut off the phone so that way no inmate can call out to their family. The jail would transfer all the inmates that had a vantage point into the cell. They transferred them to different units before the police got there. And then Prince William County Police shows up, and the police officer would see one of the inmates that had a vantage point that was not yet transferred, okay? But they transferred all the other inmates, but this one they haven't seen. They couldn't transport him because of his medical issue, right? He had a medical issue, so they couldn't transfer him, right? The detective would look at him, know that he has a good vantage point into the cell, and would not question him. Now, only after 15 days, where we leaked out the voices of the inmate that came forward, witness, Detective S.D. Long goes and questions this inmate. Okay, so, all right. So on the 28th, they found this kid unresponsive. When he shut off the phone, it's foul play. You know, the jail is sitting there telling the community there is no foul play. The media is telling the community there is no foul play. When he shut off the phone before the police department got there, that's foul play. You don't want the story to get out. When you transfer inmates that are witnesses to what happened, that's foul play. Okay?
That's foul play, that's a cover up.
Exactly. Now the day before, inmates saw Juan Campos. They saw a correctional officer enter his cell, and when that correctional and a loud thump is heard, like a punch, a smack, something, okay, a thump, right?
Right.
That correctional officer would come out of that cell, with a confused look and distraught look on his face. And he sat there in front of that cell for a while. And then he brought a nurse, and that nurse wasn't there for too long. She comes out. Now, she broke policy because she didn't go in with a correctional officer. She went in there by herself.
By herself.
Yeah, that's the day. That's the day before. That's on Wednesday. Now, the only thing that I can assume for her to go in by herself and not care is that inmate is already dead.
Exactly. She knew there was going to be nobody to say anything.
Exactly. Or that inmate is so badly hurt that she didn't think he was a threat. Okay, she broke policy. You're on solitary confinement. You're on D-pod. You can't just go in by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that inmate, that nurse goes in real quick and comes out. And then that correctional officer would call in two correctional officers and would start cleaning out that cell. Now, they broke policy because they're supposed to take out the inmate, handcuff him, shackle his feet, and then go into his cell and start cleaning it. Now, the only thing that I can assume why they just went in without taking this inmate out is that inmate is already dead. Or is so badly hurt that they don't want to take him out in front of the camera to show the camera his injuries because the camera is going to see it. Now, that's all foul play. But when the media reports on it not being foul play, they're protecting the police department. Detective Anderson questioned Mustafa, Rodney, and the other inmate. Now, why is it that Detective Anderson can't seem to, like, his key witness just got beaten up by correctional officers, and he's black and blue from head to toe. After Detective Anderson, that's investigating the 18-year-old kid, questions the inmate that came forward. And you don't think, and Detective Anderson is nowhere to be found. Your witnesses are getting beaten up. And you want to tell me that this is okay? So, oh, I'll throw something even better for you. Oh, something even, okay. The mom, the family tells me that they have pictures of their son's face bashed in. Of one. Now the jail says the jail says that he died out of natural causes or drug related, right? Well, why is Juan's nose broken? Why is his face punched in? Why is there a giant knot on his forehead? Now, now it makes sense. The reason the police department is not releasing the body cam is because they beat this kid up. Okay? They beat him up, and instead of taking him to the hospital, they took him to jail for him to heal. And then we'll take you to whatever you want. Correctional officers are beating up Mustafa because inmate Juan Campo's life is in danger.
There's a pattern.
Yeah.
I've seen such a pattern. I'm like,
Sarah.
so I told Jack earlier that
Sarah.
there's a pattern because
Yeah, the police. You know, there's a working relationship. When they beat you, or the police use excessive force and they beat you up, they take you to a county jail where they're gonna throw you in a room where you're gonna heal on your own. And if you don't, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. And then that's what happened to Juan.
Yeah. Sarah.
You know, go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell you, I'm falling asleep.
Oh, asleep?
Yes, ma'am. I really enjoy talking to you, ma'am. God bless you.
You too. And that's what I was saying earlier, is that I know you're so tired and you don't have to talk to me. Don't feel like you have to talk to me. Like, I know you want to tell myself a story, but I totally believe you, and I want you to get some rest. Is your mom asleep?
My mom, yes, my mom went to sleep. Yeah, she went to sleep in the other vehicle.
Okay, I just need to know about that guy, though.
You know, Sarah, like I don't want people to, like, I tell you something, like
Mm-hmm.
throughout this whole entire journey
Mm-hmm.
and me being Mustafa's voice, like I just want
Mm-hmm.
people to look at the evidence.
Yeah.
Like I don't want you to take my word for it. I don't want, like when I tell you about the inmates coming forward with their voices saying this happened, I think this community has an obligation to get the camera inside the jail. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
camera inside the jail that saw what happened, and the fact that they're
Mm-hmm.
not releasing that camera tells me everything I need to know.
So what?
Yeah, that if you have nothing to hide, release the camera.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sarah, God bless you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Keep us in your
Hey,
prayers, and
I need to know
just
about the guy that's there, though, that was acting crazy. Is he? I'm worried about y'all,
oh
and I want
yeah,
to know, is
this
he
this guy
gone
that
or?
guy left. That guy left. But it's
Okay,
just
good.
like I don't like that he's coming back and forth, like the way he's screaming. It just doesn't make sense. Like
Yeah.
you've got a
I just,
family here. Like
yeah. And I know that you want to be um, comforting to him and everything too, but there's a limit
yes,
to that
exactly. There's a limit. Okay,
when you
like
have to take care of everybody.
exactly. Like I'm not here just like it's just me. No, you've got a whole family. Like my poor mom. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're sitting there screaming like that, like you're scaring my mom.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we'll
And
see.
and I didn't mean to keep you on the phone all night. I hope you know that.
Ma'am, I
Um,
enjoy talking to you. God bless you for
I
being
did
there.
too.
Yeah.
And hey, just marry Doha, okay? And I'll be okay with everything. But
That's
so
funny.
I'm Team Doha.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, if you need anything, for me to do anything or anything, you've got my number. Just give me a holler, and I'll do everything I can for you. Okay?
Sarah, God bless you. Thank you for being there.
Yeah, and God bless you too. And I'm so glad that we have met each other through this whole entire thing. God has a reason for all this.
Yes, ma'am. Amen. Amen.
All right. Good night. Good night, Antonio Banderas.
There you go. Ma'am, thank you. You have a good night,
All right.
ma'am. I'll talk to you.
You too.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.